Santo, Guling, the Dragon. Okay. Let me pull up my DM screen here. We got a digital DM screen, guys. How's it going? How's my digital DM screen? Should just be another minute or so. The team is not here yet. Well, not another minute. Figured we just do like a little powwow beforehand. If anyone in chat wants to ask some questions, anything fun like that. Been having some fun times recently. I'm actually finishing some last minute work on some NPCs. There it goes. There's a new mention. Maybe everyone will start getting their fucking asses in here. Let's go. Where do I want? I want campaign chat. That's what I want. Oh, that pulled up. Oop. Okay. Hopefully they start popping in soon. +1 daggers. That'll be 150. It's a saber. Specialty weapon. Check something here. Let's turn that down like that a little bit. I'll be fine, I think. We got one guy who cannot find his mouse, and the rest of the party that I have no fucking clue where they are. Okay. Alrighty, so we got dagger, saber. And then we'll have like bolts and shit like that. Oh, there's Stinger 1. That's Ah, our lovely humanoid fighter. He'll be on momentarily. It should be. Hopefully just a few more minutes. Someone's gonna be fucking joining soon. Says Tim's in the Roll20 chat. Roll20. I don't know what's taking him so long. Oh, God. Excuse me, guys. Um. Hey, Tim. Yep, I'm here. Hopefully the guys start joining soon. I'm really hoping. I know Draken's going to be here. He messaged me saying he'll be on in just a few minutes. Really wanting to make sure Draken and Icarus are here because that's who we're starting with is you guys. I can't spell. shit. Sorry, my computer wasn't active for that long, guys. Okay. Welcome, Tim.
All right, there we fucking go. God, I've had so many issues tonight. Borrowing Dad's mouse. I haven't even got my damn websites up yet because I've been trying to delete McAfee off my computer. McAfee's like, you have to have admin privileges. Like, bitch, I own you. I am that.
Right? Fucking hate it when my computer does that.
Give access to. No. You can't hear my music, can you?
I cannot.
Okay, good, because the song I'm listening to has some not okay words for Twitch.
Yeah.
Trying to think of what the hell we were on. It's not a bad song. It's just it's a very political song. Let's try that.
Yeah.
Skip. Maybe do this. Is it gonna skip every single fucking item? Nothing got deleted when I tried to. Oh my fucking god, this is gonna piss me off. Mm-hmm. Call me redneck, white trash, say it back. I don't care, kiss my ass. I don't care, kiss my ass. Oh, it's gonna piss me off. Like, why? Yes, I
Since
want to
Ken is
prove.
going to be late, we will be starting with Carrie's group.
Okay. So yeah, no. Got to work today at 8 o'clock in the morning, thinking we were still doing training, and nope, got my shift information. They're like, yeah, you're on second shift B rotation. Y'all told me I was going to be on first shift. Well, first shift got filled up, so we had to put you on second shift B rotation. Whatever. So I'm off. So on the weeks I can do D&D, I can't go to the firehouse for my meetings because I work Wednesday, Thursday. But on the weeks I can go to the firehouse for my meetings, I can't do D&D.
Damn.
Yeah. But yeah, I work tomorrow and Thursday, and then I'm off all weekend, which is good for Tim because Tim has a date Saturday.
Nice, dude. Nice.
Yep, we're going hiking, and
I will admit that doesn't sound as much fun, but still nice, dude.
I mean, there's not much else we can do with the goddamn quarantine.
Yeah, true.
Plus, I mean, I'm gonna send you the. I'm gonna send them to you personally. I want you. I want you to see how smooth I fucking was. I don't know if I sent them to you or not, but I was a smooth motherfucker with this shit, dude.
This dragon. Just waiting on Carrie.
Just read those. I was a smooth motherfucker. I wanted to launch game, not fucking view all games.
I am hoping to get this promotion soon, and if I do, I will be um
Stocked up on some ammo. Yeah, so did we. We got a metric fuck ton in my house of ammo. We are, we are most definitely ready and admit that the government is going to crash. So I got my gun in the nightstand. Dan's got all the ARs in his closet. He's got his gun in the nightstand. Pretty sure Devin's got his gun in his room. And then we have a.
First off, this is so fucking cheesy.
What'd you say?
This is so fucking cheesy.
Oh, come on, computer. Don't be a dick to me now. Okay, I heard nothing that you just said because my computer decided it was going to be a dick while loading the map and freeze.
Mm. What I was saying is that was a hella fucking cheesy. What I just read.
Hey, but it worked.
Fucking.
It worked. Remember, Tyler, I'm the man who got laid by saying, "You like jazz?" Let's never forget that. Tim got laid by asking a woman if she liked jazz. I need to pull the stream up.
And that's how we know Tim is a true chaotic neutral.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I was gonna say, was his name Steve?
No, her name was Emily, and she was a very nice person. She is a very nice person. The only reason Tim could not stay with her was because her baby daddy is an inmate at the prison I worked at, and I'm not allowed to have interactions with her kids. And obviously, if I can't interact with her kids,
Conflict of interest.
So it was the so the reunions was the problem.
not the reunions. I mean, we were pretty good, and then you know,
You realize how that conversation would go? Like, oh, I started dating somebody new. You might want to meet him because he's around your kids all the time. And it's the guy that beats your ass on a daily.
oh no, I actually that was
The guy
fun
with
part.
the hose.
At first, I was like, if I don't know his name, and if I don't know who he is, I don't have to worry about it. You know, like whatever. And then I learned his name, and I was like, holy shit, I've slammed that dude before. I have fought that dude before because he's an asshole. And the reason he's in prison, are we live to where they can hear me? Because I
Yeah.
don't have audio on the Twitch tab. Okay, well, I'm gonna end that conversation because I'm technically not allowed to talk about that, even though technically I don't work for the state of Tennessee anymore. But I'm pretty sure that's still like charges somewhere down the fucking road.
You gotta wait for the statute of limitations. So we know Ken's gonna be late, right? That's what he said. I don't know. Since when do we listen to him?
So there is this other story that I know about this one person who is in jail for beating his baby mama and his kids. You know, horrible person. When you know.
Was his name Tim?
No, his name was not Tim. His name was Jacob, and you know, just piece of shit all around. You know, that has nothing to do with my original thing I was telling. Nothing at all.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, positive.
Tyler, do you see this?
What?
Didn't you buy the legendary bundle?
Yeah.
It's $170 off right now.
Oh, I had a large discount also.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. No, I've been waiting for. Who did we lose? Oh,
We lost
Carrie.
No.
Carrie.
What is happening?
Anyways,
Is that on purpose?
I could talk here. Anyways, I've been following Critical Role, and I waited till they had a large discount code, and they had one, so that's when I jumped on it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so I had a decent amount. I had a decent amount off.
Oh yeah, hey Tyler. Speaking of what we found out,
For the bot change.
well, we found out last Friday. I think if we ever do get off this campaign and start another one, I think we should probably keep it within this campaign. That way we can still share content.
Oh yeah, no, that was my plan.
Okay, I thought I should mention that because
Well, how many
That's kinda
campaigns can
bullshit.
you share content to?
They changed it to where I can only share my content to one campaign.
What did it used to be?
I used to have access to be able to share it to 3. They changed it to 1.
Why did they do that?
I don't fucking know. And actually, if I were to lose my subscription, which is why I'm keeping tabs on it, if I were to lose my subscription and resubscribe, I wouldn't be able to share it at all. So.
Yeah, it's kind of.
Yep.
What do you mean lose your subscription?
like if I forgot to re-up, because I'm the only one in the group that has a paid subscription.
So you have to subscribe in order to share?
Correct, yes.
Did you have to do that before?
Yes.
Huh. Well, that's
I think
dumb.
I've got a subscription.
Oh, do
I
you,
$5.99 a month.
oh yeah. So
I think what we worked out is it wasn't at first, and then
Is
it
it a
became part of
monthly
it.
subscription?
yeah, it's a monthly subscription.
Oh, okay.
So I did this. I did it because since I'm creating a whole bunch of NPCs and whatnot, it's better for me because I can actually create their stat blocks. To whereas you guys can only create, I think, like 7 characters or something like that. I don't have a limit anymore. If I wanted to create 100, I could create 100. It's beautiful. Okay, so I am sitting here finishing up some work on some NPCs and whatnot. I'll be done in about a minute. Does anyone want to give the recap this time while I'm writing some stuff down?
I'm pretty sure we were at a sheriff's office, and I got my dragon back, and now there's
The sheriff's office.
I think it was sheriff's office. Yeah, it was the fucking town where like people go and get put in the cells, and so Icarus, myself, and Draken, we're going to the courthouse to try and discuss getting Tito released on the pretense of self-defense. And then the other three that the 2 robots and the half-orc, I believe we're just getting to town.
No, they went rogue, remember, and then raided a temple.
I know they went. Oh, did they raid a temple? Wait, what the fuck did I miss?
Okay,
Yeah,
they
the
didn't.
stone temple or whatever.
They never went
Or, well,
into the temple.
yeah.
They did not find the entrance, but they found the, like basically what would be similar
They
to
were
the
fighting
sacrificing
statues and
ground.
almost died to the statues.
Also, what they did, Tyler, is they moved the 3 campaigns thing up to the next subscription tier.
Oh well, then there you go.
So yeah, technically you still could, but it'll cost double
Yeah, I don't want to pay more.
the regular tier cost. Yeah.
I pay enough.
So yeah, they fought some statues, and then they got done fighting the statues. And I'm pretty sure they started making their way towards the town. So I know they went eastward, away from the town, away from the guards, because the one robot that's a squid went darkness and then ran away, and everybody else just happened to join him. And then so we're in the town. We're going to the courthouse, but I'm pretty sure like something happened on our way to the courthouse at the like gates of the city or something. I think they were coming through the gates of the city, if I'm not mistaken. Like they were just walking into the town as we were going to the courthouse, and like we didn't see each other, and like we left off right there because it was like some tense moment or some shit, as Tyler likes to fucking do, where it's like, oh, next time on D&D, will Tim and Icarus's group find peace with the robots? Will the robots take over the town? Will Tito ever be free from his life sentence of killing a man? Will he ever be free from his dark thoughts that he has after killing that man? Will we ever actually get a Roofinol subscriber to actually sponsor us? We don't know. And that's about as much as my knowledge on this. I'm just trying to pad the time until Tyler can give the actual recap.
No,
we can
this is the
actually
recap we're
motherfucker.
using.
Oh, this is the recap we're using? Okay, well, yeah, that's pretty much it. We're in the city. We're going to the courthouse. Pretty sure the robots in them are on their way to the city, or they're at the gate to the city. One of the two.
Okay, I'll bail you out. Okay, so last time on the last session, the players were escorted to the mine near the city of Anchorage, just simply known as Jahaka mine, where they met someone who they don't know their specific title yet, but is Law Master Madame Loretta and Jailkeeper George Blorbenstoff.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Which Tim loves that name. What did you say?
I might actually know Blorbenstoff in my child's name somewhere when I finally have children. That might be a thing. Like, not the first one. The first one I already have the name set aside for if it's a boy. But down the road, like the second or third one.
Madame Loretta had a very short conversation with our um, druid Icarus, and then promptly left. Went back to the guild house of her area, and George very kindly pointed the direction for the party to be able to talk to the lawmaster and attempt to find a way to I don't know the technical word I'm looking for, but reduce the sentence for Tianto.
Or completely expunge his record and get the sentence wiped.
Yeah. Wait, no, that's not the word I'm looking for.
It should be what? I didn't quite catch that.
Not be executed.
It should not. Tito should not be executed.
Just thing. Killed those evildoers.
To be fair, the guard fired on us first. So you ran away in a cloud of darkness, and then he started firing on us because of the robot too. Because you ran away.
Well, they did
Okay.
shoot first. I will say that.
Anyways,
Yeah.
anyways, back on topic here. The party began the larger of the two parties ish kind of because they're missing their NPCs right now. The party of Icarus went towards the guild house for the lawmaster and made it to the base of the stairway, where we left off from that party. Whereas the party of Bane, after splitting off from the main group upon the guards' attempt to capture everybody, continued south along the the River Sashin Star near the Aladani Basin. They kept south of the river and followed all westward until just on the outskirts of Jahaka mine. Along the way, they found an altar of worship of some sort. In attempts to explore it, they found some statues that were not truly statues and were very, very hard to hit. Like, damn near impossible for one member of the party. Bane, did you get what, 2 hits that encounter? But nonetheless, they did make it to the Jahaka mine. They have not entered it yet, but they are on the outskirts nonetheless. So going back into the session, we will be picking up with the party of Icarus Bark at the base of the steps of the Lawmaster's Guild House. I fucking hate you so much, Tim. Oh my god.
Oh,
Okay.
God. All right, so you saw the picture. So that's all I need.
All right.
I'll
So,
wait till we're done to send you anymore.
Icarus, are you here? Because I haven't heard you talk yet.
Yep.
Okay, making sure. So hopefully our other member, Ken, I can't remember his character's name right now for the life of me. K-Talk.
Okay, Tom.
Hopefully K-Talk will be with us shortly. He is running behind. He is at dinner. So hopefully he will
Okay,
get
Google.
here quickly.
Pause music.
Yeah, let's pause the fucking music.
Well, I saw my mic flaring up. I didn't know if it was coming through or not.
Ish. Anyways, so standing at the base of the guild house, you see not really too much of a grand staircase. It's starting to weather away. Looks to be just chiseled out of the stone and kind of set into one of the walls of this mine. You can see it's 3 stories. Only the top story has any windows. There's several people going in and out, mostly human and dwarven of those races in the area. Looking about in the street, you can see a couple of half orcs, some gnomes, That's really all you see in the area. You can see, you hear deeper into the mine, back towards the jailhouse. You can hear larger crowds and whatnot. The coming from the area that you passed on the way here, no, commonly known as the bazaar. Um, but the house that you were sent to here is kind of set away right next to the entrance. There's not too many other buildings nearby.
Okay, well, I'm gonna do what I was trying to do last session before you went next time on D&D, like 3 weeks ago. I'm gonna just walk up the steps and find a receptionist.
Okay. So as you walk up and open up the door, looking quickly about, you do see a front desk area. It's the desk itself is actually fashioned out of wood. It's a wooden desk sitting there. There, sitting behind it, is a relatively young, to your knowledge, looking elf. She's got extremely pale skin, very bright and vibrant considered to what you've seen in this mine. Brown hair goes just past her shoulders, and she kind of has it pulled back tight into a very very neat ponytail. She does have like some small square like glasses on. Just wearing black robes. She's sitting there. She's looking down at a piece of paper on her desk, and you can see her writing something. Looking about, you can see it's kind of like a little waiting room. There's probably 10 or 12 chairs. Only one person sitting in there. He's kind of sitting in the corner. It's a middle-aged man, balding in the center. Not really heavy set, but not healthy. Looks like he's probably had a couple of beers on not today, but like he's got a little beer gut going.
Yeah, okay.
You can see him sitting there. He's got a couple of pieces of paper that he looks to be filling out in his lap.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go up to the desk and just politely say, "Excuse me, ma'am."
Ah, yes. How can I help you? And she, at that point, she just kind of looks up and starts looking you over, and she looks kind of taken back for a minute.
Yeah, the towering dragon. Yes. I would like to schedule an appointment with the. I want to say head justice. I do not know the title, but it is a small woman. I don't know what she looks like. My friend over there is the one who talked to her.
Oh, do you mean Madame Loretta?
Is she the one who handles all the justice stuff around here?
Yes, she's the lawmaster of the area.
Okay, lawmaster. Good to know. Yes, that is the one I would like to schedule an appointment with.
All right, hey, 1 second. And she she reaches to the right and fumbles through some paperwork and comes back. And of what is the matter for the request?
Just to discuss legal matters of my friend who is currently in the cell block in the town sheriff's office. I don't know if that's what y'all call it. But he's currently in there. I just like to discuss the legal matter and trying to get him a reduced sentence and go over the case of what happened.
Okay. What is the name of your friend?
Tianto.
I'm 100% surprised Tim said it right. Just side note. Anyways.
I am too.
I'm pretty sure because it was court proceedings. Why?
This
He's
is
the
all
wrong person out of jail.
God.
Wait 2 to 6 weeks. And so sorry, sir. We do not have that person in our database.
Right.
Alrighty.
He's a grungling about yay tall, like 3 feet.
as
There's
as
no light.
as Tim puts his hand up to his knee below the desk.
Yeah, like about 3 feet. Very lightest green skin. He's but a child, and I feel he is very afraid. And I just want to try and get some common ground and see what we can do to rectify the situation.
Okay. Well, looking here, she can probably. I'd say she has a spot about 2 days out, right around 2 p.m.
Give me one moment. I must discuss with my compatriots over there to see
Okay.
how the scheduling will work out.
Alrighty.
Kind of like shuffle back to Icarus and Kraken.
As you walk away, you see her kind of jot some stuff down on the paper she grabbed out and then sets it to the side and goes back to the other stuff she was working on before you arrived.
Okay, so here's the deal. She's not going to have an appointment for like 2 days until 2 o'clock, and I feel like we need this urgently. So I feel if maybe we can broker a deal and maybe get the location of certain individuals who are on the run from certain guards, maybe they'll agree to see us sooner.
First, I want to ask Tyler, are elves, have I commonly seen them in this area?
So this is the first time that you've really been in a actual like settlement in this area. I mean, you've seen like one or two in the passing patrols whenever you were hiding out within the Grung army. I mean, make a just make a general knowledge check for me.
I guess wisdom or intelligence?
Intelligence, sorry.
You gotta remember if you saw them or not. I'm just going off the basis of I had Kunme Thor in my party for so long. I just think elves are normal.
Yeah.
20.
A 20?
Wrong chat.
I was gonna say, oh, you did it in general. I'm like, that didn't pop up. Okay,
Oh.
we'll take the 20.
I mean, we'll take the 20 though, but that's why I was like, why didn't it pop up? That's weird. Let me give you a little notification.
So, with that, you would know that they're not incredibly uncommon, but they're definitely a minority still. Yeah, I mean, you know that there is a decent focus in Port Nyanzaru. They're pretty common if you're actually looking for an elf specifically. You'd know that they're there, but any other settlement in here, you may find one, maybe two per settlement. They're outside the major city. They're not common at all.
Okay. So it doesn't... I don't find it too awkward that she's here then.
Correct, yes.
Okay. All right. We'll continue back to Tim then.
Yes. So I feel if maybe we could broker a deal of information on certain, how would I say this, at-large fugitives who they want to question about an explosion. So say maybe metallic in origin.
Tim, why are you being disingenuous? There's only 3 of us here.
Yeah, they're not here. I mean, you can call them. They are.
Force of habit, the robots. If we tell them where we might know where the robots might be and help them along with that investigation, maybe we can broker a deal for Tito's lighter sentence.
Well, I will say, helping with the investigation is one thing, but do you know where they are, Tim?
You know, I hadn't thought that far ahead. I mean, they went east. I know that.
Okay, so come up with a more correct plan, I guess is the best way to put it.
Is the
Oh, I
Zorbo
know.
with me, or is he locked up with Tiana?
Yeah, wait.
Remember we talked about that? That was the end of the last episode. I was like, wait a minute, we forgot the cart.
We got the cart and the Zorba. We untied the Zorba.
So we
and
took him
left
off
him
the
in
leash.
cart.
I don't know if he's hanging by the cart, but I know we
So-
took him off whatever leash he was on.
Here
We took
is
him
the
off the
last
leash
you
and
saw
then-
the Zorbo. You took him off the leash so he wasn't tied up, and you left him sitting out in front of the jailhouse. He was not by the cart. He did not follow you. He's just sitting out in front of the jailhouse.
Chilling in front of the house. Got it. Okay.
Forgot about that.
Okay. Well, here's the deal. This is a very young elf, is it not? Maybe one of us can convince her to try and schedule us sooner. That's preferably not a dragonborn, because I don't feel like my charm will work on her.
I'm not very charismatic either, nor do I have a particular
Good
interest
or
in
silence.
this endeavor.
But here's a question, Tim. What's the problem with just staying here for 2 days?
I did not know if you guys would have a problem with that. I mean, if you don't, I would prefer to stay here to try and lessen Tito's sentence. I feel
I
like we
think-
owe it to him.
Finding the soulmonger is more important than rescuing Tianto.
I mean, let's be honest. I don't think 2 days is really gonna matter about him destroying the world. I mean, we haven't really gotten a timer for it. So, no one's really said, oh, he's gonna do it in like 24 hours. Like those plays where the dashing action hero has a limited time to save the princess. You know how it goes. I'm just
People are
saying,
dying every day because of him.
undead people are dying again every day. Like they
No,
are
not undead. Undead are completely different.
Okay. What would you really quick? I have a question. What would you classify Tito as, race-wise? Like, what kind of being is he?
He's a grung.
Okay, and grungs generally have the features of,
A frog.
and frogs are.
If you're saying a grung is an animal, you are way off base.
I'm just saying. Maybe. we
Are you
should,
an animal?
Technically speaking, sometimes. Mainly in the inn
You're
bedrooms.
saying I am an animal.
I mean, you turn into animals.
I take on the shape of animals, yes, but I myself, nor is Draken, an animal.
Humans are technically animals.
Tiefling.
Quiet
I do
peanut
not
gallery.
No, I would like really quick. I'm gonna step away from the roleplay. I would like to think every time Dan and Lou talk when they're not around is me thinking Kume Thor and oh god, what was Dan's name?
Oh, Laurel.
Laurel. Kume Thor and Laurel are like in the back of my skull talking to me. Side effects.
Continue.
Anyway, look, I'm just saying, you like to help people. You like to make sure everybody is safe. That was one of the things while I was under control of a certain object we will not talk about that you disliked me. I'm trying to become better with that. So you like to help people, and yes, I get what he did was bad, but let's be fair. In every standing army I've been in, the rules of engagement are if the enemy fires on us first, then we return the favor. And therefore, since they fired on us first, he was acting.
Fired first, I didn't see what happened, thanks to the Warforged things, but who did we lose?
Jarkin, he's back.
But either way, I am not in the interest of helping people. I am simply in the interest of restoring balance to the world. In this situation, I think Tianto's sentence of work for release is adequate under the
Hold on,
circumstances.
really? What? Think of it this way: we have to fight the soul devourer Margaret thing. Okay. Well, right now, the people that we have to fight him are you, myself, Draken, and Azorbo. Honestly, I'm just putting this in perspective. We could use all the help we can get.
Yes, and Tianto is not going to help us at all because first we have to find Rosna Sea, and Tianto can go nowhere near Rosna Sea.
I mean, with that crossbow, we could just sit him up on a mountain, like a good distance away, and just tell him to shoot in a general area. Because I mean, let's be fair, he did shoot a man straight in the jaw. He's a good shot.
Or a lucky shot.
Luck is half the reason I'm alive today, my friend. I'm saying, I personally am thinking of staying the 2 days to help out him because I feel like I owe it to him. He lost the man who saved him from that camp. I don't know where the tiefling went, but you know, he did just dip out, and I feel like Tito looked up to him like he was a father figure. And now, you know, the only friends he's had since we got him from that camp are just leaving him in the jail cell to rot and then work in the mines to ruin his body. And he is but a boy. He knows no better.
So where's he safer? Here, working in the mines, or out there, fighting massive undead dinosaurs and powerful liches and necromancers?
Out there. Those mines, man, that silent killer, the black lung you get just from the coal dust alone. I've seen many slaves die
How do
within
you even
weeks
know
of
they're
working.
mining coal?
Really?
No.
Have you seen half of the doors around here? They are covered in soot. Because let's be honest, if that soul monger is really causing all of this depression era kind of stuff, you know, and all of this poverty, all these resources are probably gone. Especially, didn't a dragon come through here? I'm pretty sure all the shiny shit's gone. So it's mainly just coal.
No, the dragon is
God
not.
damn it. Be right back. Yeah.
I'm just saying, I'm personally thinking about just staying. You two are your own people. You may go if you wish. But I'm going to wait the 2 days to help Tito out. And if we just happen to catch up with you, or if you stay with us, that would be greatly appreciated. But I am not going to force anything upon you.
DM's back.
Draken, what is your voice in this matter?
I'll tell you this, I can barely hear most of anything what anybody's saying, because I've been finding Discord's been doing this lately where it'll basically have the connection shoot to like 1,000 or more, so it's impossible to hear people.
Yeah, I've been having that issue sometimes too.
Pretty much, do you want to stay to try to save Tianto, or would you rather go on Gary's quest to, what's his name again? Is it Rosnan Sea?
Can you type whatever you said? Because unfortunately, it's every other word.
Oh,
Ah, God, that is like a full-on, like, 15-minute episode. Yeah, full-on episode of script we need to write then.
Carry your in-stream announcements.
They need to know
What would
what's
it take
going
to
on.
quote unquote save him?
Just waiting 2 days. Wait, no, not kill him. Jesus Christ.
Alright, guys.
The elf, the elf and the tiefling have a vote on this as well.
I mean, I'm fine with waiting 2 days. It's not that big a deal.
right. Well, I'm going to go back to talk to the receptionist and tell her that I am cool with that appointment. I'll wait 2 days and I'll find something to keep myself entertained here. Like I said, you two.
Out of all the time, no one even tries to bribe.
The influence of some
Just
heavy
saying.
shit.
I'm muted, so they
I'm
can't
going
hear me.
through some of my own personal demons. I'll let you make your own choices as of right now. But
So I'm fine with waiting either way. So
I'm going to go back and talk to the receptionist. So I turn around and I go back to the desk.
She sees you begin to approach, and like she kind of looks at you from over the top of her glasses, and then quickly grabs the paper and brings it back. Yes.
Okay. I am okay with that appointment. I do not mind the wait. If there's any possible way to get it sooner, it'd be appreciated. If not, that's okay. But yes, 2 days at 2 p.m. is fine.
Okay. And who? What is your name, so I can put you down here?
Timosaurus.
Fitting. She writes your name out. Alrighty. I'll be back here in 2 days. Do not be late, otherwise your appointment will be cancelled. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. I do appreciate it. And I walk away and out the justice hall with my dragon on my shoulder, petting him.
Alrighty. So going back out the guild house, I'm guessing Icarus and Draken follow.
I'm heading to get the Zorbo.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna follow him
Okay.
to the Zorbo. Because if he leaves, I'd like to say goodbye to the Zorbo.
Alrighty. So, heading back through, Icarus having a decent memory of the layout instead of just, blindly walking. You pass by some busier streets and whatnot. You can hear different people shouting about different peddlers trying to sell goods, wares, all that fun stuff. But with maybe about a 10 to 15 minute walk, you approach the jailhouse, and still sitting there next to the post that he was affixed to, just kind of like staring off into space, is the Zorbo.
I'm gonna cast Good Berry and then walk up and hand him an entire handful, like 4 berries.
Okay, he gracefully accepts and just starts shoveling them in his mouth.
Is that what it sounds like on the weekends? Man, whoever it is must be one happy guy with you.
Thanks, Tim. Thanks.
Alright, I'm just gonna kind of look around the town, I guess.
Okay.
See exactly what all this place has to offer, scout out, see if maybe there's anything piques my interest.
Okay, so looking about, you do see some several different several different taverns. One of them called the Four Corners. Walking past it, you can see it. What, to your knowledge, would be a lot of riffraff hanging out. Like, not really the cleanest of people. You can hear shouting coming from inside. Several, as you pass by, you hear several thuds. But just down the block a little bit there, you can see one other tavern, and you can see this one has the name very elegantly carved across the top of the entrance, and it's just called the Broken Stool. This, looking at, just kind of glancing through the windows as you pass by, it seems slightly more of not really high class, but more or less middle class. You can see they have a candlelit interior, and to whereas the other one was mostly lit by actual torches. There doesn't seem to be too many people floating around the Broken Stool, but nevertheless, that would be two locations you could probably try to find some bedding. Oh yeah, that would be good for Kraken. Good point, Dan.
Mhm.
He already backed out. He's gonna try opening that as an industry.
Oh, okay. But then circling about, going down the main area where you've seen all the hustle and bustle, there is several different shops and food peddlers, different essential things, and some more or less non-essentials for the people of the town. You see one building that you go past. You can see what you would recognize as, it has, so everyone recognizes that it's purple banners along the front. Icarus, you would recognize it as a extremely fine silk, a very vibrant purple, and a creature sketched into them that you would recognize as a furbolg. Tim, you would not recognize what a furbolg is. You've never seen one. Looking at this building in particular, it is extremely clean, even the exterior. As you get close to it, it doesn't have any type of fine layer of dust or anything like you've seen throughout the rest of the city. There is no visible name, but you can see that it is a candlelit interior. You don't see too many people passing back and forth. You see, just kind of glancing through the windows, you see probably 4 or 5 people inside it, just kind of browsing about. Continuing down the main street, you see another building that is, a lot of people are like kind of going out of their way, and like going to the other side of the street whenever they go to pass it. This one, what languages do you two speak and read?
Common, Druidic, Elvish, Sylvan.
Okay, Tim, what do you read and speak?
I actually have shit. Celestial, Common, Draconic, Dwarvish, Elvish, Orc, and technically the Thieves can't, but that's like a code.
Yeah, that's a code.
That it takes like fucking forever to do.
Yep, sure it does. So Tim, you would actually be helpful here because you can read it. It's written in Orcish, and all it says on it is, God damn it, I had it written down here. Oh yeah, all it says on it is Madam Nunis, Nuni apostrophe S. It is a very.
Sorry, I'll let you finish. I was thinking.
Okay, so looking at it, it is a very dark building. There seems to be, just kind of like glancing in it, there's really not any windows. It's just a like half open door that looks very weathered. Kind of glancing into it, you can see like maybe one form of light, but it is mostly dark inside. The building itself looks incredibly run down and borderline abandoned. But nonetheless, it's Madame Nunes. Then, did you have any questions about that building there?
I was just wondering because the name sounds very similar to another name of a certain person we know that's,
Nanny Poo Poo?
we may have blown up the house of. You
You have Noonie and Nanny.
But I'm saying though, some people, just that slight iteration. Some things translate differently in certain languages. So maybe nanny poo poo, translate to noonie moo moo in fucking Orcish or some shit.
You would know that nanny poo poo, even translated into orc, would be something very different.
So like noonie. Anyway, yeah. So I can read the sign, but nobody else can.
Correct. Icarus cannot read the sign. And I actually think Draken can. I think he speaks Orcish. Let me speaks and reads. Let me check real quick.
Oh, we can just ask.
Yeah, he can. I just pulled.
Okay,
I pulled up
so
his.
Icarus is the only one that can't read it. Okay, so I kind of read it out loud a little bit because that's how I read. Just Madam Goonies.
Icarus, you are shocked that Tim can read any language.
I am extremely impressed.
Okay, and then continuing down towards the end, this main hall here is not, well, I guess it's kind of a hall because you're inside of a mountain. This main hall comes to a dead end, and on the very back, all of you recognize this as a weaponsmith and a forgery. And you can see a lot of people that are going in and out of here are very obvious miners, covered in suit, have hats on, hard equivalent to hard hats for the medieval era on. A lot of lanterns line the front of this. You can see it has a sign written in common. One lantern is like 5 silver piece. And on the top of this, written also in common, is Borthak's Weapon Shack.
That wasn't the guy that blew himself up, was it?
No.
No, I was asking Icarus.
Oh.
See if you remembered.
Sorry.
Thanks for the answer.
I thought that was a DM question.
No. You want to check out Madame Noonies and then hit the weapon shop?
I'm gonna keep doing a full lap, and then we'll
I'm
see
gonna
what
keep
everything is first.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna poke my head into Madame Noonies. I'll catch up with you.
Okay.
Okay, we'll go with Tim first. Tim, as you poke your head into Madame Noonies, first off, upon the approach, whenever you start walking up, several people note with your perception, your passive perception, you can notice this. Several people kind of stop and just look at you whenever you didn't go to the opposite side of the street. Mm-hmm. Then as you open the door, it has the typical very creaking motion, creaking sound.
That's not ominous at all. Okay.
Peeking in the door, on the very far side.
I have a question. Do I have to like duck in here?
Yes, you do. It's it's a common size door, so it's not incredibly tall. It's probably a regular height door for regular humans. But
so I like squat down enough that my head clears it and then my dragon clears it too.
Mm-hmm. So, but peeking in on the room itself is probably about a 15 by 20 foot, and in the far back corner there is just one very low lit lantern, giving off just enough light to kind of make out the interior, and that's it. You can see several different shelves, all of them empty. Sitting next to the lantern, on the wall there, you can see like a little case. It has a lock on it, and you can see some different vials on the inside. You're not really sure what they'd be used for. And sitting underneath the case, in a very worn chair, is a heavily cloaked figure. Very small. The chair itself would probably be decent size for... I'll give you perfect representation because everybody has seen me. Myself, I would fill the chair perfectly, so it's not really the smallest chair.
Okay.
The thing sitting in the chair is not taking up even half of it. It's very small.
Like Nanny Boo Boo size small? Or...
No, Nanny Poo Poo was short, but she was fat.
Okay, so this is okay. So I can obviously tell just from first sight, it's not what I think.
You can tell whatever is in that chair is definitely not Nanny Poo Poo.
Got it. Okay.
But all you can see, really making it out, is you can see from the where the sleeves end, you can see two very frail-looking and very skinny-looking hands, kind of just clutching the arms of her chair. At the end of the cloak, you can see two very scrawny feet kind of poking out, and you can tell that it wasn't doing this before you walked in, but as you walked in, the chair itself starts to rock back and forth. Back and forth.
See, I'm gonna like have my tail kind of have the door cracked behind me in case I need to make a quick escape. I'm just gonna kind of go. Excuse me.
So let me finish the description because we're not done yet.
Okay. Oh, I thought we were done.
Oh, the cloak comes up to the top and over the head. You can't make out any facial details at all. You can just see at the very, very end, and it hangs over her, what would be the head, probably about a foot or two. At the very, very end, you can see what looks to be the beginnings of a small snout. Can't really tell if it's reptilian or anything.
Okay. Am I good now?
Now you're good.
Okay. Excuse me, Madam Nooney, I presume. We've already discussed in this. No, we've already gone so far that I've had.
Yeah, so that is one thing in this Icarus. This Dragonborn is the only Dragonborn you've seen with a tail.
That's why I'm so weird.
Yeah.
Yes, we've just gone so long because we never fully read the description that fucking Tim has a tail.
So, Tim does indeed have a tail.
Madam Nooney, I presume.
And without looking or anything, yes, just rocking back and forth.
I saw your shop and was interested and was just wondering what kind of wares you had.
Yes. Well, I have this wall behind me.
And what are those products, if I may ask? If you excuse my ignorance, I don't really know what certain things are in this area. I'm from a different...
You see, I sell different potions and vials.
Okay. What kind of potions would you recommend for, say, someone who probably gets in fights a lot?
I have several healing potions.
Okay, then how much those...
What strength?
Let's just say medium. Maybe gaping chest wound, medium.
I have one potion of greater healing for 125 gold pieces.
Okay, I would add my pricing, but it is fair pricing. I'm just getting a lay of the land. Is there anything else, perhaps for sale other than potions that you may have in your trade?
That depends what you're looking for.
Surprise me.
Make a persuasion check.
Oh, okay. I persuaded her to surprise me. Okay.
Maybe.
Will a 23 work?
20, maybe. You hear her slightly begin to cackle under her breath as much as she can. Um,
I feel like I made a very bad mistake.
and without moving, all of a sudden, very close to your left side, you hear a loud thud, and you kind of jump back like towards the door, look to your left, and on the very top shelf that was empty, there's just a sack there now.
You know, it surprised me. I'll give you credit.
Take it. That one is on the house.
Okay. I like slowly kind of reach for the sack, very cautiously.
As you begin to reach for the sack, you're able to grab it and nothing happens.
Okay. Well, I'm in town for the next couple of days, so I'll see if I can't come into more funds and maybe come back and purchase some poaches from you, madam.
I will be looking forward to it.
Thank you, madam, and you have a lovely rest of your day. And I can quickly kind of scurry out the shop and quickly find Icarus and go to him, because I'm pretty sure my scales are now white when they're supposed to be black.
Okay, make me a perception check.
Okay.
God damn, Tim.
I'm getting good rolls tonight. I like this.
Driven by panic and borderline fear, you walk out the door and quickly locate your druid companion coming back up the other side of the roadway, looking at the other side of the shops. So while Tim was in there, coming back up about the first half of the roadway, I would say, Icarus, you and Draken see you guys see a very lovely looking bakery. You don't really see a name on it or anything. Just by the smell and aroma in the nearby area, you can easily tell it has baked goods, different pastries, and fun stuff like that. You notice a lot of finer dressed people in that shop. And sorry, I don't know what's going on with me right now. I keep burping. Then passing just by that, you do see a large crowd of people at this next shop, and different people shouting back and forth, not seeming like anger shouting, more like you hear a couple of people yelling about prices and whatnot. But this building also does not have a name fully displayed. But as you kind of make your way slowly through the crowd and whatnot, trying to get a better view here, you do see several different beasts. You see what is actually really uncommon for your adventures on this island. Different cattle, oxen, stuff like that, kind of being traded off back and forth. You see a couple, just one or two smaller trikes. A lot of different creatures here that could be beasts of burden, and heavy pack mules type of thing. This seems to be the main trading hub for animals. And after fighting your way back out of that crowd, you see a very panicked and a little bit more white Timosaurus running towards you almost.
What happened to you?
It was very dark. There was a lot of potions on the wall. Pretty sure there's a lockbox, and I kind of know what's in there, but I do not particularly need to know what's in there at this moment. And not many beings scare me, but that little madam sitting in that chair that just made a sack appear next to me and cackling? No, fuck that. I'm out, man.
Did you not notice the entire town avoiding her house?
Since we got here, I figured people just kind of staring at me doing things because of a 6'7" dragon thing. But now that I kind of think back to it, a little weird. I do have a sack though that she gave me.
And you think it wise to keep it?
To be fair, nothing happened when I touched it. I figured you know how to see if something's magical, and if it's magical, I'm throwing it the fuck away.
Tim has not learned with the magic rock.
Also, didn't think there was anything wrong with your little death rock when you touched it.
Okay, to be fair, I didn't know it was a death rock when I touched it. Okay, I just thought it
So
was a
what do
shiny
you think
purple
the
one.
chances are this is a death bag?
That's why I'm asking you to see if it's magical or not.
Checking to see if I have detect magic ready. I do not. We'll have to wait until tomorrow.
Okay, well, I'm just gonna attach this sack to my belt.
So I'm gonna take a wild guess you haven't opened the bag.
No, negative. I am making sure I am being as cautious as shit. After that death rock experience, fuck that. Nope.
Okay. Draken, can you hear again? I'm assuming not then.
Yeah. Just really quick, Icarus, have you ever seen a sack like this?
I'm assuming it's just a regular, like, burlap sack.
Yes. It seems very dingy. You can't really. It's kind of hard. Without opening it, you wouldn't be able to tell if there's anything inside. There's definitely something because it has weight to it. But yeah, it's just a burlap sack and it's kind of tied off with a rope.
Yeah, I just kind of looked back to him. Yeah, it's the burlap sack. I've seen plenty of those.
Okay. Does it give you any feeling?
Open it and find out.
You said you are opening it, or are you asking him?
I'm telling him to.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna put the sack on the ground.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to grab one end of the rope that ties it.
At this point, I slowly start to step back.
Okay.
Okay, you use something you can grab this with from a distance, because I'm going to go this way, you go that way to untie the knot, and hopefully, if we do this right, we can dive out the way if this bitch explodes. All right.
And as he starts to open it, I'm going to whistle at the dragon to try and get it to come away from him, so it is safe.
Yes, actually, I will do it. Squishy, Squishy, listen to Daddy. Go with the animal man in case Daddy does not survive.
Make an animal
Take good
handling
care of
check. Squishy just kind of looks at you for a second and ignores you.
Hey, no, what the motherfucker was just for? There's no way his stats are that high.
I know you've imprinted on him, but it's not a great animal handling check. He's not well trained yet.
Okay. Mentally bites me. Okay. But I'm gonna touch you back real quick. I'm going to take Squishy off my shoulder and hold him, and kind of pet him and hand him to Icarus.
Okay. He really doesn't seem to care if he's being forced. He just didn't know what you wanted.
I'm gonna step about 10 feet back.
Yeah, step about 10 feet back. I'm gonna make an announcement like everybody. If you please.
There's no need to draw attention from the crowd here.
And as Tim begins to draw attention by telling everyone to step back, several people kind of like see that it had the distance that Icarus has put and put that between themselves, and now wants to watch what's going to happen.
Okay, I'm going to open the bag.
So as
Icarus, hold on, I haven't opened the bag yet.
Okay.
Icarus, if I die, I need you to do something for me. If it does not get destroyed in any kind of explosion or death spell or whatever the fuck is in this bag, there's a sigil on my rope guard rope that is hidden in the rope. I need you to pull it out. I need you to put it on my chest and then stand way the fuck back from my body. Okay?
A sigil on a rope, place it on your chest.
Yes, it kind of looks like a skull. Just don't ask questions. Just put it on my chest
I've
and
got
then
plenty of them.
just stand back, and whichever one comes, there will be like a huge beam of light. Whichever one comes, he can answer your questions. But it's a ritual to make sure that the enemies of this group do not take our bodies and defile them.
Okay.
Okay.
Give you a
I'm
very
going-
puzzled look.
I'm going to open the bag now.
okay, so as you very slowly and extremely cautiously just pull the knot, it gives a little. The burlap kind of very slightly flops open. Nothing poofs out. Nothing of major note happens, but at a quick glance inside, you can see a very kind of almost looks like a finer version of mulch, brown powder-esque substance.
I'm kind of like bracing my hands against my face in case something explodes, and just kind of open one eye slowly. I think it's safe.
Is it a death rock?
It looks like that.
Dirt.
Yes.
Just regular dirt.
I mean, it's like a little darker than dirt. Kind of what you would use the gun with, maybe? Don't know. Never really been the farming type.
Pull some out.
Why don't you pull some out?
Because it's not my bag.
I mean, I never. I like cautiously and shakily scoop some out with my hand.
Okay. So as he kind of gets some into his hand, and it's now that it's out of the back, Icarus, you get a better look at it. It's definitely not dirt. It's kind of hard to tell what it is. It does seem to, just from your knowledge, it does seem to be plant-based something. It looks like, it kind of looks similar to like the bark off of a tree, but it seems a little bit finer than that and softer. It's really you're really not getting what it is. It's not something that you have crossed before.
To be honest, I completely blanked on what the fuck mulch was, and I was thinking fertilizer.
No, it's
That's why I said it was dirt.
And this person just gave it to you.
I asked her what else other than potions she sold, and she kind of started like getting a little like, "What do you want?" And I was like, "Well, surprise me." And then she started cackling, and then the sack appeared.
Did you pay her for the sack?
She said it was on the house.
And you didn't ask what it was.
To be fair, I just really, really wanted to get out of there. I was alone and afraid, and I didn't want Squishy to get hurt.
So why don't you go back and ask what it is?
Can you wait outside the store for me?
I roll my eyes. Yes, I will wait outside the store.
Okay, and don't let anything happen to Squishy.
I won't.
Okay. I kind of put what's in my hand back in the sack, pick it up, and go back to the store, and then like kind of slowly open the door again, just to kind of poke my head through. It's excuse me,
Okay.
Madam Nooney.
First off, so as you begin to put the stuff back into the sack, the crowd that you've formed, the small crowd, begins to like, that was nothing, and like very disappointedly goes back throughout their day and begins passing by. They thought it was going to be like a little show or something, like you were doing a skit.
Oh.
And then as you begin to approach Madame Nooney's house, once again, as you open the door, very obviously, as soon as you kind of peek in, the rocking chair creaking back and forth as she slowly rocks. Hasn't moved from her position at all since you left.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, got it. Excuse me, Madam Nooney. I did have a question. I did have a question. I forgot to ask when I left because I thought I had my friends calling me. What is in the bag?
It's a surprise.
Okay, yes. I want to get a better understanding so I can know how to utilize to its fullest capabilities. It looks like mulch that I can garden with, but I don't want to know. I just want to know if that's what I was supposed to use it for.
And she sits there continually rocking back and forth, unmoving, no response.
Okay. Thank you for the information. I'm going to step back out the door now. I might be back in a couple seconds or not. I don't know. I'll let you know in a second if I come back. Keep doing what you're doing.
She doesn't say anything. She just continues rocking.
Can I give little finger guns and back out the doorway? Yeah, that didn't help at all.
Icarus, with your perception, you heard all of that.
Okay, so I reset my modem. I'll just watch back later what I missed.
Very simple. Yeah, very simple. I'll give you a quick overrun. You passed by a house that had very high-end fabrics on the front of it. It was extremely clean compared to everything else. Tim has found this old, what looked to originally be borderline abandoned hut. He has found it to be a potion master's shop. He is very creeped out by her. You found
because I'm not creeped out by many things.
Yeah. You found a weapons shack in a weaponsmith area. You found a bakery. You found a area where you get they will sell and trade beasts of burden. I think that's everything that we passed, right?
Pretty much.
Okay. You're basically kind of in the bazaar right now.
Yeah, we made a little bit of a show of trying to figure out what was in the sack. It turns out to just be mulch, and I disappointed a lot of people, like my sex life. Anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much she gave him a bag. He ran away like a coward, ran to me, asked me to look at the bag. I made him look at the bag. He opened it up, and it was just mulch.
Look, I'm just saying, you go in there and tell creeped out.
Yeah, I saw everybody else avoiding the house, so I felt it wise to also avoid the house.
See, I thought people were just avoiding me because but anyway. She does have a potion of greater healing. And some other stuff. I mean, she seems like a very nice lady. She gives off that, you know...
I can tell from your pale exterior that she's very nice and comforting.
To be fair, it's probably just prejudice is the reason I'm doing this. She really hasn't haunts me, or just the setting, maybe.
Yep. Just hold your words until we figure out what that bag is.
Okay, so we gonna wait till tomorrow, figure it out, and then come back if it's something harmful.
Oh no, we still won't figure it out tomorrow. We'll just have an idea.
You'll know if it's magical or not.
Gotcha. Okay, I'm going to close the bag up now, and I'm gonna put it on my belt, and I will take Squishy back.
Yep. I'll hand them back and continue exploring the town.
Yep.
Most importantly, I want a library.
Okay. Getting the general vibe of this populace, they probably don't have a designated library. It doesn't.
What the hell? How am I supposed to read?
Second. It doesn't seem to be that of a knowledgeable town. More or less, this is a lot of the higher end people that are here are probably higher end because they're the heads of the mine, not really learned people.
Okay. Anywhere that I could find, or any place that I suspect might have a diamond.
Okay. Go ahead. Make me a general investigation check.
So, what are we gonna do now, guys? Since
You gotta put check.
finally got the right chat, not the right code.
Hey!
A 12. It takes you a while. By the time you guys got out of the jail cell, all this stuff, I'd say it's probably close to 3, 4 in the afternoon. By the time you finally find this, but you ask about. There's one orcish fellow passing by. Yeah. You can either try the invulnerable Vankrit. He might have some stuff that he trades and whatnot, or every once in a while, what's his name? One second, as I check my notes. Okay, yeah.
Oh God.
Borthak's Weapon Shack. If you ask him, he can introduce you to
Shit, I like the orc with a lisp.
Fuck
Mike
you.
Tyson.
He can introduce you to Gunther. He deals in the mines, and he sometimes is able to sell off extra.
You said this guy was
Is
an
there any
orc,
place
right?
we could get either barrels or oil separately?
So there is several like general goods stores about. I did kind of explain that whenever we were going through just like different food stuff and general shopping. You could probably try one of those. So that was when you couldn't hear anybody. But
Don't worry, it still might be around. But go on.
yeah.
So you said this guy was an orc, right?
Yes.
In Orcish, I asked him if he speaks Orcish. Don't want to presume.
Yes, he responds. Of course, I'm an orc.
I tell him in Orcish. Didn't want to presume. I point to Madame Nooney's shop, and then point to the bag on my hip and ask him if he would know of any mulch-like substance she might sell and what it might be.
He kind of looks at you. He goes, "Madam," he's talking in Orcish. Madam Nooney, I know of the shop, but I've never been there myself. What did she sell you?
I pull the bag off my hip and open it and show him the contents.
Why, that's a bag of shit.
Let me roll a percentage dice to see if this guy happens to know what Madame Nooney gave you. And I'm missing my percentage. One of my percentage die. Lovely. He kind of looks at you. I'm not sure. I imagine you could probably ask about. Some people might know.
I thank him and for his time.
Alright, have a good day. And he begins to walk off.
I put the bag back on my hip. And then I start speaking to Squishy in Draconic to try and teach him Draconic.
Okay, make an animal handling check, I guess.
Yeah, I cannot spell. That's
8.
not very-
You go on talking to Squishy. You're talking to your pet. Don't know if he understands. Don't know if he will understand. But you're talking to him.
I'm trying. I've never been a father before. I'm trying.
Okay. So I guess we can. I've been trying to wait till Ken got here, but I don't know where he is.
He's he's on Discord.
He's AFK on Discord. So I guess at this point we'll kind of cut to Bane and Jinri because it's been a while. I feel bad for making y'all wait this long. But last we left off with you guys, you were beginning the approach to the mining city here, the Jahaka mine. Is there anything specifically you guys want to do? Don't know what you're looking for, what your plan is?
I think we're gonna make some TikToks.
I miss the Autobots.
Shinri, what do you think? That's awesome.
Is he AFK? Do we just go back to the other group?
Yeah, I guess so. So wait,
Shortest
you
side
said they're at the gates of the city.
Yes, this was. They're not really at the gates, but they can see the gates.
Okay, and this I'm assuming this was at the time that we came out the gates, right?
Yes, this was about the time you were at the not out of the jailhouse. You were probably towards the base of the guildmaster.
Oh, okay. So one would assume that some time has passed. They've probably walked into the city.
I don't know. I don't know what they're planning.
Tim, you do know, again, they're still wanted, right?
Oh yeah, remember I'm trying to use that.
Okay.
I would think
Well, it is Tim. I mean, it's hard to remember.
It's hard to get a read on the.
Okay, so what is Bane? I'm just leaving it up to you since your team isn't here.
we're just gonna hang out by the gate. We're gonna wait for them to come up. We're not gonna go in. We're gonna kind of take up a little spot.
Okay. Alright, that's fine. You can stick around, but if you want to play another game or something, go for it. Because I don't know how long they're gonna be. So.
Nope, you're all good. We've been watching videos.
Okay, cool. I figured because I've seen a lot of stuff going off. Okay, so we'll just go back with the other group. So, what do you guys want to do? You just finished talking to the orc. Tim, Icarus, Draken.
So we just got done talking to the orc. He's leaving. Assuming Icarus is still looking around the town.
Well, Icarus was given several locations because he's looking specifically for Diamond, which he hasn't told you, so you wouldn't know. But the orc mentioned.
Obviously, I heard the orc
Yeah.
say some stuff to him. I'm gonna question like, hey,
So
what you looking?
I don't know if Icarus was here.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna, after talking to the orc, I'm gonna head to the first place he mentioned. I don't remember what the name he said was.
The Invulnerable Vagrant, which walking about the bazaar, you didn't see that name anywhere.
Okay, well, I'm gonna keep looking for it because I feel like that might be better than going to the weaponsmith that then leads me to a mining
Doing
exchange.
third.
Blah blah
Yeah.
blah. So I'm
Okay.
gonna try that place first.
Okay.
I'm gonna
If I
catch
can
up
find
to Icarus after
You
talking
might
to
want
the
to
orc.
ask if there's any particular tasks that need done in this town as well.
You have fun with manual labor. I'm gonna go explore with Icarus.
Well, no,
I
not
mean,
manual labor. I
little
mean,
finger
like,
guns,
quests that we can get paid for, you know?
A way to make money in case you want to buy something, Tim.
I figured I'd just barter the price down. Well, you know.
Oh, yes, because bartering worked with the exploding old man very well.
Again, was not my fault, Draken. The robot.
I'm
decided
just saying,
he was
if
gonna
we
be
had
a
enough money and
steal.
we could have just bought the dog outright, the whole conversation would have just ended and the old man wouldn't have escalated.
We had
to
a
exploding.
dog that can teleport.
Icarus
How
is
do we know we
pissed.
didn't tell- okay.
That's what I'm saying. If we
Okay,
could have just bought it
okay, I
outright,
got
the
it.
conversation would have ended
Got it.
there.
Freaking- You know what? I'm
More
gonna-
money's always better.
I am going to go back to the guild house real quick. Personal matter. I'll get you two in a bit. Get the little finger guns and back away and start making my way towards the guild house.
Okay, so I will say this: Icarus and Draken asking around very quickly. You do find that the invulnerable vagrant. That was the one of the first buildings you came to that has the very fine purple silks, and the furbolg that was kind of like embedded within them with his picture kind of stitched in. Draken, you did not recognize that it's a furbolg creature on there, but Icarus did because he is very traveled throughout the world. A little bit better than you. You're war traveled, he's culture traveled. And furbolgs avoid war a lot. But as you guys make your way to the invulnerable vagrant, I cannot say that word. We will go with Tim at the guild house. Tim, as you begin to approach the guild house, it's getting later in the day, and okay. So you walk up to the steps. And as you look up to start walking upward, you see the elven woman is actually standing outside, and she has just locked the door, and she's beginning to walk down the steps towards you.
Got it. Okay. Gobi, I completely forgot what I was gonna do. God, hold on. I had it. I'm pretty sure I have a concussion from that thing Saturday, Tyler. I'm not gonna lie. Oh, God. Oh, yes. I'm gonna talk to her.
Okay. So as she walks down the steps, oh hi, how can I help you?
Yes, I noticed your robes. Are those justice robes, or do you special abilities that might aid on a quest?
No. Can you repeat that? Because you cut out. I missed something.
Are those just justice robes, or I'm assuming they're just justice robes, but as an elf, and I do apologize if anything comes off as offensive. Just the elf I'm used to dealing with was very skilled in the art of archery, and somewhat being a dick, but that was just him, not elves in general. Would you happen to know possible skills such as using a bow per se?
I do not. These robes are just my common robes. And she kind of looks at you kind of weirdly.
Define weirdly, because there's like 15 different types of weirdly you can look at my character. There's the, I want to kill that weirdly. The, what the fuck is that?
I mean,
weirdly?
she's a younger elven woman. Probably doesn't have too many ways of killing somebody. More or less the kind of like, not really creeped out, but like, her mind wasn't fully on your question, and she only caught parts of it. But yeah.
Have you met Squishy? And then put you the dragon.
I seen him when you entered earlier.
He's a baby dragon that we hatched last week when the man blew himself up. Something like that. No, not last week. It was like 3 days ago. I think.
Okay.
Wouldn't you like to hold the squishy?
No.
Oh. Would you like to pet the squishy?
No.
Keep trying to persuade.
Persuade to pet the squishy. Look, ma'am, I'm going to be honest with you. I came to talk to you, see if we couldn't try and broker a deal with the Master of Law.
And
in town.
you can do that when you have your appointment.
I would do so, except for the fact of that Grunling is not built for manual labor in the mines. He will die soon if they put him to work, and I do owe it to him to try and get him out as soon as possible.
Okay. Well, you can attempt to do that in 2 days. I don't have much I can do. I'm sorry.
I see. That is okay. I do thank you for your time, and have a lovely rest of your evening. And I quickly walk away.
Okay.
The baby dragon did not work.
Okay. Alrighty. So. We can. I'm not really sure how to go back to the party. Oh, that was. I was like, what's this message here? Campaign chat.
I mean, it would just be me being dead. Trying to find that.
Okay. Well, you know that they were looking for the invulnerable vagrant. So you can ask around and find it relatively quickly.
Yeah, that's what I'll do.
Okay. So because that was relatively a short interaction, and maybe just a conversation of a few minutes, you had a little bit better luck than your friends did, and as you arrive at the invulnerable vagrant, they are just arriving as well. So you meet them all. You all arrive together at the very front of this very beautifully and well lit interior shop that you have. The only idea you know right now is that it might have a diamond in it that you can buy.
Acres just seems a little too rich for Avalon. I'm just gonna say that.
Probably, but I'm still curious.
So, say we find this thing you're looking for and we can't afford it. What do we do then?
What would you do in that situation?
Depends. How many exits are there?
Actually, bad question. I know what you would do, and we're not doing that.
I was gonna say,
Keep
gee,
your fingers
this is
to
the time a
yourself.
job would be nice.
I'm just.
I'm thinking more what Draken's thinking. We barter, trade, some kind of exchange.
You think you'll take
We're
a
not gonna steal.
sack of mulch? I wasn't gonna suggest stealing. I was gonna suggest making sure there's no witnesses and just gently taking.
That is stealing.
No, it's gently taking because if the owner's dead, they no longer own the product.
That's murder and stealing.
There's no one to report to the gods if the gods are dead.
So you're gonna kill me too.
Hadn't thought that far ahead yet.
It probably crosses.
Tim, why don't you wait outside?
I want to see what's in the pretty shop. You have my word.
I don't want you in that shop now.
You, Icarus, you have my word. I will not touch anything. I will only look with my eyes.
This isn't gonna go well.
I will. If it makes you feel better, I pick Squishy off my shoulder. I will hold Squishy the entire time.
Okay. I will head into the shop.
Okay, so first off, as you all approach the shop, Tim, you are pleasantly relieved. This is a very tall door. Like,
Thank God I don't have to crouch.
You
to
do
get
not have
into
to-
a fucking building. The goddamn area.
yeah, you do not have to crouch at all. This is very, very open for you. And the door that you approach on this one is a very fine, and looks to be shining mahogany. And as you open the door, it even has a little ting, a little bell that just it clicks. And as the door opens, you quickly look about and you see a very beautiful interior. It actually has it is a stone floor, but it's a really polished stone floor. Looks incredibly formal. You see a whole bunch of knickknacks laid in throughout the walls. You see on the far right side, you see a case that has a lock on it, and you can see some type of shield that's inside it. You can see a stand that has several cloaks that all have price tags on them and whatnot. The interior itself, it's relatively larger. It's probably 30 foot wide and goes back. This first room here probably goes back about 15 feet, and you can see a wall with another door on it that looks to be behind the counter. You can only see one other person that looks to be an actual patron shopping about. You see 4 people that look very obviously to be shop workers. All of them looking uncomfortably similar, and all of them in simultaneous and unionistic kind of lean back and wave towards the door. Welcome to the invulnerable vagrant. We'll be with you in a moment. And they all kind of go back to what they're doing simultaneously.
Yeah, that's not creepy at all. Okay.
I walk straight up to one of them.
Okay, there's one towards the front. What I guess would best be considered like the quote unquote cash register. It's just like a little area you can see that they have a little locked box next to it that they probably keep the money. As you approach, yes, now can I help you?
Yes, I am looking for a diamond. Do you happen to have any? Be interested in bartering.
Well, I mean, what kind of diamond? We got a few options. I got some, and you didn't notice it at first, but this creature is sitting down and probably about eye height with you. When he goes to stand up, he looks to be about 7'6", 7'7", and is very tall. He was kind of sitting on a stool. He kind of towers over Tim. Let me reach over and grab this, and he reaches off of a shelf here. And he kind of just pulls out and he places them on the counter. Some very beautifully crafted jewelry and very small diamond-esque items. I have these if you're looking to be something a little gaudy. I have a lot of options for diamonds. What are you looking for?
I'm not entirely sure, to be honest.
Well,
I have a question, Mr.
Yes, the Dragonborn fellow. How can I help you? And may I say, that's a fine little feller you got right there in your hands.
Yes, this is Squishy. He's just hatched. Yes. How much do your diamonds usually go for?
Well, I mean, it depends. What type of diamond are you looking for? Are you looking for one of my decorative diamonds? Are you looking for a diamond of the arcane nature? There's a lot of different options when you come into my store and you say diamonds.
I'm gonna assume of the arcane nature, knowing my compatriots' profession.
Well, I mean, a diamond of arcane focus that you can use to cast spells can cost the upwards of 5,000 gold pieces. But that's a
I
very.
kind of like choke on my own tongue for a second.
That's a very valuable diamond. You have lesser diamonds, more like what I have here. These are polished and pure diamonds. Some of these can go up to 50 to 60 gold pieces. I have some other ones that are in the range of 400 to 500 gold pieces. They're more or less spell casting diamonds that you could use more or less for like a component for a very powerful spell.
Okay, well, Icarus, make your choice there.
I don't fully know what we need is the problem because I don't actually know the spell myself.
Well, I'm assuming your name is Icarus since you responded to his call. What type of spell are you looking to do? What is the objective that I can attempt to help you with today?
The objective is to try and locate some friends on a different plane of existence.
Ooh. Here, let me look in the old book. Hey, Pumat Prime! And you hear someone shout from the back, yeah, what can I get for you? Don't worry, I got it over here. And another one kind of just reaches onto a shelf and chucks a book across the room. And he just reaches up, oh, thanks, and catches it in his hand and starts looking through the book. Give me just a moment here.
Excuse me, sir. Is this a family-run and operated business?
Oh, no. We are, for lack of a better term, what you would consider a copy or a replica of Prime. He's the one in the back that you heard me shout at. He's a very skilled professional. He created all four of us you see here, and as he's kind of pointing around, without even saying anything, the other three just, oh, hi, I'm Pumat 2, oh, I'm Pumat 3, oh, in the back, I'm 4. They're all just kind of going about. What's the name of the spell you're actually looking for? Is it Find Person?
Maybe I can find
Okay,
person and do it between planes.
I'm trying to think. I couldn't remember if it's like Find Person. Locate object.
Motherfuckers appear. You just go, ahoo, Ramastatu, and the motherfuckers just appear.
See, locate creature. They have to be within 1,000 feet. I know there's contact other plane, but that doesn't require a diamond.
Just gonna point out that the 1,000 feet thing, I don't think the other plane is within 1,000 feet of you.
No, definitely not. That's why I feel like that was immediately disqualified.
Yeah.
I don't remember what spell it was you found that you wanted us to cast. I just wrote down I need a diamond and gold dust to find them.
Let me check.
Well, I'll cut you off here, and I think that was a nanny poo-poo thing, so,
I think you're right.
Yeah, you guys pissed her
kind
off.
of, yeah.
That's because it is in the nanny poo-poo section, too.
Yep. Well,
Thought I should mention that, so,
Yeah,
That's
it's
wonderful.
right under all my information of nanny poo-poo that I wrote down. So yeah, I think you're completely right there that nanny needed that to cast or figure it out.
Yeah.
So that just kind of shot that in the foot.
Okay, so I do remember now that yes, that you wouldn't remember that because it hasn't been too long. So, but nevertheless, you have someone here who's looking up spells and whatnot and trying to think of something he could sell you to help you in your endeavor.
So, I mean, he might know better than Nanny Poo Poo Baby.
Possibly.
Yes,
So, what do you have in order of contacting other planes?
Oh, well, I mean, there's a whole, not really a whole slew of spells. I mean, if you're more religious, you could do your best to contact your god and try to ask them one question. There's the contact other plane spell that lets you come into contact with a demigod of another plane and help and hope that they know where your friends are. Do you have any idea of what plane they might be on?
I am led to believe that they are on Pandemonium.
Oh,
What friends are you talking about, Icarus?
Kun Mathor and Laurel.
Oh, I thought they just abandoned us to go do their own stuff. No one told me they were sent to another plane. Why did no one tell me?
Well, it's the best we got. We know that the old man was on Pandemonium, or at least I know he was.
Wait, the old man? Oh, no. That dastardly bastard.
It's the best I got. The old
Okay.
man was talking in the trees. Laurel and Mathor went to try and talk to him, and suddenly they're gone.
I hope they're okay. You think maybe that's why I still hear them in the back of my head?
No, I think that's just you being insane.
well,
I wonder what they think about that.
alright, well, I mean, I don't have a way to, aside from what I told you, I can sell you some components to be able to do the spell, contact other planes, so you can contact a demigod. But, I mean, if you went to Jahaka Anchorage, there is a more powerful wizard there. He might be able to try to locate your friends, but I don't know how well it'd be to get a hold of him. He's more of an important fellow, and in this time of the world, he's also a relatively busy fellow.
And where is he located?
Jahaka Anchorage, just to the west of here. It's the only civilization in Jahaka Bay.
Jahaka Anchorage.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought that's where we was.
No, you're in Jahaka Mine. It's the mining town right before Anchorage.
Oh, okay, it's the mining symbol.
Yeah, it's the mining symbol. It's not really an
Okay.
official town.
Okay, I thought we were in Jahaka, and that's just they traveled to that mine and brought it back to Jahaka.
Nope.
This is like a satellite town to Jahaka.
Kinda, yeah.
How far
Okay.
is Jahaka Anchorage from here, sir?
I mean, if you stick to the coast and don't dilly-dally, you can probably get there in, I want to say, 3, maybe 4 days on foot.
Have an appointment in 2.
You don't wanna miss those appointments. That can be rather dicey.
Yeah, trying to save a young lad from working to death in the mines.
Well, the mines are no fun. That's why I sit here in this lovely establishment.
Okay. Well, thank you for your time, sir.
Alrighty.
I really appreciate your help.
Well, feel free to look around. We got several items that might interest you. You in particular, I can tell you're more of the stealthy type, and he's looking at Tim. I got a very lovely cloak that gives you a little bit help when it comes to hiding from somebody you don't want to be seen from.
And how much does that cloak go for exactly?
1 second, let me get my little ledger out here. If we're talking purely gold pieces, he flips through several pages. It'd be about 700 gold pieces.
Yeah, it's a little rich for my blood. Don't. Yeah, no. There's yeah, I have nowhere near enough, but I do appreciate it.
Well, alrighty. Well, make sure if you guys have anything you want, any type of enchanted equipment that you would like, take a look around. I got plenty to look from. And also, if you have an enchantment you might want added on something, we can help with that too. Pumat Prime doesn't have too much of a list right now, but he can, for a small fee, if you bring in the product, we can gladly add an enchantment for you.
Okay, that's good to know.
What kind of enchantments do you have offhand?
Oh, well, what type of enchantments are you looking for?
How about fortification enchantments?
Um, well, I have a shield over here, and he points over to the locked box. And looking at it now, on the front of it, it's what you, Draken, you would immediately recognize it as a tower shield. Not really your favorite, but you could use it. It's a shield still. And on the front of it, it has like a lion. More, I get, not a lion, a saber-toothed tiger's face kind of like engraved into it out of a very fine iron, and it actually has the teeth coming out itself. And the shield itself is like, you can tell very easily it's it's some type of metal that has like a red leather kind of draped over it and like very like riveted on throughout the sides, and the red leather is cut apart to reveal the saber tooth coming through it. Well, I got my shield over there. That would probably interest you. It's the screaming saber-tooth shield. It makes most people that you're attempting to defend yourself from a little weary whenever they come to try to attack you or a friend that's close by.
I was thinking more along the lines of something we could give to the Dragonborn here so that he doesn't die repeatedly.
Oh, you're talking more or less armor.
Yes.
Ah, okay. Well, we'll set that shield aside because I can tell you probably like that. I have, and he kind of looks over Tim for a second. I imagine you probably want to be more dodgy and whatnot instead of taking a brunt force hit. If am I right, big guy? And he kind of punches your shoulder a little bit with an surprisingly long reach. And Tim kind of standing there, he's weaker than what you thought he was going to be. And it felt like kind of a kid punching you almost, for a big guy.
Yeah, a little bit, you know. My head-on fighting days, no more.
Well, I have this. It makes you a little bit more dodgy. And he reaches behind the desk and he kind of pulls out another book and opens it up. Oh, where's it at? Where's it at? Oh, there it is. Hey, can you grab? I'm already on it. And one of the other ones kind of walks up behind you and, oh, here you go. And he puts it on. He kind of cuts between you all, puts it on the counter, and kind of saunters away a little bit and back to whatever he was doing. I got this leather armor here. Is really fine. It makes it. It's really easy to move about in. It doesn't really give you any help when it comes to moving about, but it's a little bit stronger of a leather armor. It will add +1 to your current AC. It's just some high quality leather armor.
Is it built like mine though, to where I can dive in lava and be fine with it?
It is not. Not
Yeah.
to your knowledge. He said it wasn't magical. So.
Gotcha.
Well, to be fair, Tim, I mean, I'm pretty sure you would know when you're about to fall into lava or fire.
No, I mean, no, I'm
Uh,
fine though. I just, my clothes might not be. That's the problem. Is I need to find like dragonborn smiths that would be like, "Oh yeah, we got you, bro." But this land seems to be lacking in that department.
Well, again, I'm just saying
how-
for the 99% of the rest of combat, I think having better armor would be good for you.
I haven't died yet.
I can tell you, it's been well over 100 years since the last volcano erupted on this island.
And how much does this cost exactly?
This fine piece of work right here would probably cost you about 50 gold pieces.
Well, see here. Let me just I got 160 copper, 39 silver, and 2 gold. I don't know the conversion rate on copper to gold.
100 copper equals a gold. I think it's actually 10 silver pieces equal a gold.
Is that what the 10 CP equals? Is that what next to the silver there? I like over the silver says 10 CP.
Yeah, 1 silver is 10 copper pieces.
Okay, so 160 copper would be
160 copper would be 1.6 gold.
And 39 silver would be 3 point something gold.
3.9.
So far we're at 7 gold.
Tim is a broke motherfucker.
Yes. Also, I have 7-ish equivalent of gold, and I have 2 daggers. That's worth 4 gold combined. My armor itself, I think, is worth 10 gold, and yeah, I'm broke. Yeah, no, I don't have.
Okay, so I'd like to ask the gentleman if there's a job board or anybody who needs hired services in town.
Well, I mean, you could always go to the guildmaster's house in the main lobby. If you talk to the fine elven lady, she might have a job or two that she could probably offer. Just some nuisances for the area. I know some of the traders were talking about some bandits or some thieves kind of terrorizing the trade route from Jahaka Anchorage to the Jahaka mine here. Nothing too major. There is I mean, if you'd have to ask around, some people have some stuff you could probably do around their shop, or some people are looking for specific items that they might be willing to buy from you, depending on what you got.
Well, I can tell you for a fact that the nice young elf has closed the guild house for the day.
Oh
and
yeah,
probably gone
it's
home.
getting pretty late in the day.
Yeah, probably be weird to show up on her doorstep.
I think it's a good thing for tomorrow.
There
We
you
got
go.
2 days to wait anyway, so.
We do. We should actually probably find somewhere to sleep for the night. Of course,
Yeah,
I'm
we could
cool.
just camp outside the gate or something.
Yes, yeah. I need to find a good open
Maybe
area
a courtyard
away
or something.
from people to try and communicate with someone. Yeah, so, Icarus, what do you think we should do?
I really don't know. We don't have money to buy anything.
So that we can just take on some jobs. And they sound like people that even Icarus would agree to fight.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm fine with hunting down bandits.
Bandits, maybe some monsters, etc.
well, I'll
Also,
think about it.
This is a Tyler question.
Mhm.
Would the bazaar still be open, or like the general stores?
So I mean, you could probably ask the proprietor in front of you that's lived here probably most of his life. But on the
Okay,
walk
and
over here, you didn't see too many people seem to be closing up.
okay. The other
Oh,
thing I
I
did
have
want
a-
to ask you specifically, what kind of horses did we get? I'm just asking because I randomly came upon the horse costs.
They weren't the best quality of horses. I mean, you got it from the military, who was willing to
Well,
give it
no, no.
away for some reason.
Yeah. Well, no, I know.
so we
I
got some
remember you
lame
saying it
horses.
was a. It's just it was funny because I remember you
Yeah.
saying it was a military cart, and it's just like, oh my gosh, war horses are 400 gold apiece.
You did not get war horses, I promise you that.
Yeah, I figured.
I do have a question for you, Mr.
The name's Soul, Pumat Soul. How can I help you?
Yes.
Wait, I thought he was one.
Mr. Soul. Soul means one. Mr. Soul. Would you happen to know what this is? And I kind of like pull the bag off my waist and open it for him to see.
Well, that right there, sir, is a substance you probably don't want to go showing around the city here or the mining town.
I told you
Okay.
she probably crapped in a bag.
Oh, you kind of caught him off guard on that one. Well, I can tell you it's not that. Here, kind of come in, and he kind of brings you guys in a little bit. He doesn't seem to want the other people to know that he kind of knows what it is. And at this time, looking about, probably another two people have entered the shop and are looking about. You see, what that would be known as is sood. And it's more of a recreational activity. It helps you start enjoying the day a little bit better. I have the perfect thing for it if you want to give it a try, because I'm gonna guess whoever gave you that probably didn't give you any utensils. And this time, since the other Pumats seem to be busy, he actually walks over to a shelf real quick and grabs. So you can't really tell what it is, and as he brings it back, it's a small. It's like a vase-looking item.
Is it a bong?
It's a bong.
Jeez.
Of course, Tim finds the one dealer.
You could. I'd be willing to part for this very beautiful piece of pottery. For I'd say 20 silver pieces.
Yeah, I can do that.
Is it a deal? And he reaches his
You-
big palm out to shake your hand.
Yeah, thank you, sir. I'm gonna go enjoy this.
Lovely. Alrighty, and he
I
hands.
can see it now. We go back to our camp. We turn around, and it was smoke's coming out of it. It's like, what? It's fire.
Right? Yeah, it's fire. Don't worry.
Tim,
shit,
you're
I
not that kind of dragon. It's
something
fire.
from my inventory, and I don't know what the fuck it was.
Alrighty, so make sure you write this down. I'll go in and actually add it later.
It was my +2 dagger that I removed. Son of a bitch.
You don't have 20 silver pieces?
No, I did have 20 silver pieces. I accidentally clicked on something else when I removed them.
Oh,
and removed the
okay.
dagger with them. So I don't know how to add that back.
Okay, we'll get you taken care of. Just make sure you write it down to let me know after the stream.
Yeah.
Alrighty, well, now that you got that taken care of, is there anything else I can help you all with before you have a lovely evening?
Yeah. What time does the bazaar close in general? Like start to shut down.
I mean, Madam Lanny's bakery probably closing down in maybe about an hour, but most of us stay open till late into the evening. We're more of a late night bazaar instead of a early morning one. So if you wake up too early, you're not gonna find much of us, but we'll probably be here a little after midnight.
Okay. Well, thank you. Have a nice day.
All right. Have a good evening. He kind of goes back, starts to go back to his paperwork that he would seem to be working on before you guys walked in.
Okay, I'm assuming we're walking out, gentlemen, right? Because the gears in my head are turning, Draken. I have a plan.
Well, Draken's not talking, and Icarus is muted, so good luck.
I know.
Oh, I didn't know you were saying anything. I'm assuming I already walked out of the building and heading to the general store area, wherever.
Yes, I walk with you, Draken. Come here real quick. I want to run something by you.
We're going with Icarus is just following you guys at this point.
Yeah, that's what we're. So,
Okay.
Draken, I have something I want to run by you to plan.
Go ahead.
So this shit gets you high, right? What if, when I go to that meeting in 2 days, I bring this stuff in, since, it's obvious, other than those guys in the store, not a lot of people have seen a dragonborn around here. So, I go in. This is part of my custom. It is customary to smoke the peace pipe.
Smoke 'em, peace pipe.
Yes, you were supposed to smoke the peace pipe with someone you want to be allies with. I get the justice super high, and we bought a deal while she's super high to get Tito off scot-free.
What to say here?
We're smoking this whole bag is what was when we get Tito out.
I'm neutral on Tito. Good luck. And I'll leave it at that.
That's fine, but I'm telling you, we get him out, this whole bag's getting smoked.
Because let me put it this way: the normal usual courtrooms, how they have the two areas, and then the peanut gallery. I'm gonna be in the peanut gallery in the back.
That's fine.
So
By the door.
I just love how in Tim's mind this very creepy old lady who scared the piss out of him is now just his best friend and dealer.
Yep.
She has 180'd.
We go back to Madame Nudie for the good stuff.
Well, how do you think she became the creepy looking lady?
Look, you don't ask your dealers where they get shit from them, alright? You just get it and you enjoy it.
No. She's been on her own shit. That's the problem.
I mean, she's been on some harder shit than this shit. Let's be honest.
You
saw her, you'd understand.
You have
She's on some
still
hard
yet
shit.
to see her face. That's my only response to this.
I've seen her limbs. That's enough.
You have seen her hands and her feet. That's it.
She's probably on that take it through your nose shit.
Okay.
Put it this way, Tim. Out of character, even if you pulled off some sort of magic trick and got the judge to actually smoke it, Tyler would probably roll a Constitution and succeed. So.
I mean, we'll find out. I kind of want to see how this goes.
Here's what I will say to that.
How this is gonna go
You're-
is that Tim is gonna be re-incarcerated, and then we're gonna leave him behind. And then you will be able to have a new character because you'll be gone.
We'll figure it out.
I was gonna say, this shop proprietor just said you probably don't want to be showing this to a lot of people. Your first idea, let's take this to the lawmaster and get high with her. Let's do it.
Hey, man, you're rough cops. You never know. She might be there.
Okay. So,
Anywho.
as you guys begin to head your way towards the nearest, one of the more general-esque stores, you see what you would expect from the cities you're used to be in. The later the evening it's getting, more people would probably stop going out, and you'd see less people. It's actually more or less the opposite. The later it gets, the more you are seeing people. It seems like this town is really kind of operates on a different time scale than the rest. It might have been because they're built inside of a mountain. They don't really deal with a lot of daylight. So they may just slowly be getting off, but you never know. Um, but you very easily find a general store. Walking inside, you can see there is a dwarven man manning the main desk. It's a relatively larger. Oh, my thing is going sleep mode. It's a relatively larger shop, probably about a 40-foot in length and maybe 30-foot in width. Several different um,
How high
shelves.
is the ceiling?
You're crouching. You're crouching on the inside.
Okay. No,
Yeah,
okay.
you're too tall here. The recent proprietor you just spoke to would probably never enter this shop because he'd be probably on his knees almost. It'd be bad.
Mm-hmm.
But looking about, what are you looking for specifically, Draken?
Three things. Oil for oil for you know what.
Yep.
Basically 3 canisters worth, 2 barrels, and to see if anybody in the town sells gunpowder.
Okay. So asking about for the gunpowder, several people point you to Borthak's weapon check. Probably because they supply a lot of the mining materials in the area, and they probably use gunpowder to blast different caves open and whatnot, and try to slightly alleviate the mining process, whether it's safe or not. But as for the barrels and the oil, you're able to find the barrels just about anywhere. The dwarven shack that you enter now, yeah, I'll sell you some barrels. 5 copper apiece. That's nothing really.
Okay, that seems fair.
Yeah,
So
we got a lot of barrels.
What are the barrels for?
I have future plans, but it could also be good for basically just keeping water or whatever.
Storage, it seems.
Yeah, basically. I mean, we basically just have an open carriage right now. You know.
Do we still have our cart?
Your cart,
Yes, we saw
you left it at the jailhouse, but
Oh,
it's
they
it's
didn't
still
commandeer it.
technically yours. No, they had not commandeered it.
Ooh. I kind of like lean in close to the shopkeep and in a whisper go, hey, where would somebody be able to sell some stuff that he can't sell normally?
Stuff. What kind of stuff?
Recreational. This guy's a dwarf, right?
Yeah, he's dwarf.
I'm speaking to him in Dwarvish.
Okay.
So I'm assuming Icarus can't understand Dwarvish, and I really don't want to be guilt tripped into not selling this stuff that's making us some money.
Okay. And he looks at you, and he replies in Draconic. First off, it's really rude that you just assume that I speak Dwarvish. That's kind of racist. Secondly, if you're speaking of what I think you're speaking of, go, whenever you go to, Borthak's weapon shack, tell him the doctor sent you. He'll get care of you.
I respond in Draconic. Yeah, touche of the racism. I appreciate it, friend. Thank you.
Enjoy yourself. And he reaches over and he just smacks you across the face.
I nod back and walk away. So, Icarus, I say we should head to Borthax's real quick. See what kind of weapons he's
Real
got.
quick though about that oil.
Yeah. You were looking for oil. What kind of oil per se? I mean, I have some stuff that probably work. For a lot of general purposes. This is the
Well,
shop.
depends, Tyler. What kind of oil do you think I would need?
Um, Probably thinking for what you're working on, you've it's something more or less your own invention. So you probably have to try to find whatever you could and refine it a little bit. So it take some work. Um, but I mean, I have lantern oil. Would that work for you?
Again, I literally out of character. I don't know. I mean, I assume if I could take it and refine it, I guess.
It'd be a series of trial and error right now. Still trying to figure out what if lantern oil is already too refined, or if you'd have to have some more lubricating oil and refine that a little bit to find some weird mix in between. Um, it's really whatever you want to try to start off. Yeah, you really this being something that you're kind of inventing yourself here, not really having anything to go off of, just some different fevered dreams on a sleepless night type of thing. So, kind of understanding what I'm putting out a little bit.
Yeah, but I'm just trying to figure out how to do that, like mechanically wise. You know what I mean?
So this part would probably be for the inventory on these. It'd probably be something you would write down instead of like we're not going to find it in D&D Beyond because it's going to be different types of oils and they don't have that.
Well, yeah, I mean, to put it simply, I could understand getting both, but I don't know, what exactly I would write down and how much that would cost, like on a regular amount. You know what I mean?
So I'd say enough for like one canister of oil in lantern oil would probably only be about 2 silver pieces. It's not really expensive. But for like one canister is worth.
Okay, well, I guess of this, if I were to get like 3 canisters of worth hypothetically of both, how much gold would that be? You know what I'm saying? Like I'm trying to just keep the numbers simple here.
Rounding off, maybe 2 gold. It wouldn't be expensive.
Okay, so I'll just do that. I'll basically get quote unquote 3 canisters worth of both, and I'll expend 2 gold to him.
Okay, you can do that, no problem.
And you already said the other place would have the gunpowder, so.
Yeah, he told you check Borthax for the. He called it blasting powder. That's as close as what he thought you were talking about.
One was lamp oil. What was the other one? Like lubricant or something?
Yeah, more like a lubricant type oil, less refined, more just being used for not grinding shit.
Okay, and you said 2 gold?
Yes.
Okay. That's all then, I guess, for here. Then I guess if it sounds like now me and Tim want to go to the other place, so.
I apologize. I didn't know that we were not done the trading. Anyway, yeah. So we should hit the weapon shop real quick.
I'm just gonna keep following them.
Okay.
Make sure Tim trouble.
Alrighty. So as you guys begin to head towards the weapon shack and whatnot, you get to the opening, and as you walk inside, it's not really like a door per se. It's kind of like a half door. and the top half's just open. There's not even a spot that someone would latch it type of thing. It's just straight open. um, but peeking in, walking in, all that fun stuff. You see, it's relatively bustling a little bit. You can only at this area you can only see 3 workers. All of them are with somebody right now. You see some people looking about on the shelf. And there's probably a good this front room, 3 workers, probably 10, 12 patrons. It seems like a happening little shop with a lot of people kind of outside looking at different lanterns and different pickaxes and swords that are on the outside of the building, with 1 or 2 shopkeepers there also.
Do we know which one is Borthrak?
Make me a perception check to see how good you can look out and try to figure out which one's probably the higher end here. A 19. So at first glance, looking about, you see a couple dwarves that, to your knowledge, you immediately start to think, hey, maybe one of them's the guy I'm looking for, just because of your background with dwarven kind, knowing that they're really experienced crafters and smithers. But right before you begin to approach one, the back door behind the counter opens up, and a very tall, full-blooded orc walks out. His skin is extremely dark black in color. He has the best I can say is like kind of a war braid hair type style, coming starts like into 2 on the side, comes straight down into 1, and goes straight down the back. The gnarliest tusks you've ever seen on any orc in the area. And he has on a brown smithing apron and some very high quality, looks to be heavily used, but high quality metal armor on him. He looks to be extremely battle ridden. Looks like he's seen a lot of shit. And as he walks through the store, a lot of the other clerks and whatnot kind of make sure to step out of the way and whatnot. Probably gather that that's probably your guy.
Gotcha. I kind of approach him and in Dwarvish, just simply say the doctor sent me.
He looks at you and, I don't speak that filth.
So I switched to Orcish just as maybe possible native tongue.
I don't know who you are, and that excites me.
I respond with, the doctor sent me in Orcish.
You wait here. He
Just
walk. He kind of turns back and walks inside. Icarus, with your perception check, whenever Tim spoke the first time, the clerk nearest to him kind of stopped what he was doing and glanced over for a second, and then went back to what he was working on with his customer. Tim, you didn't notice.
Mm-hmm.
You were focused.
I am very focused.
Kraken is a bit suspicious now. See, I speak orc.
I don't know that.
Yeah, he Tim does not know that.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying, Kraken is suspicious.
That's why I've been trying to use languages that I know that I have a good guesstimate that nobody knows, like Dwarvish and Draconic, because a lot of people don't like speaking Draconic because it's hard.
Okay. So a moment or two passes. Icarus and Draken, are you guys doing anything in here? Because it's, by I say a moment or two, probably like 5 to 10 minutes in the store here.
No.
This is the same story you said. The gunpowder. The guy directed me for the gunpowder, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. So I guess I'll try to find one of the sellers or whatever and ask him if they sell gunpowder, not blasting powder, but maybe the diluted version, which would be gunpowder.
Okay. You're able to kind of like interject, not really rudely, but like smooth and finesse your way into a clerk as he finishes with the next customer and goes on try to find somebody else. You just luck out and happen to be there. It's a this is actually a human fellow working. He seems to be young, maybe probably late teens, early 20s. Yes, yeah. How can I help you?
Yes, I'm looking to procure some gunpowder for private uses.
Gunpowder. I mean, I have some blasting powder. I can sell you that, and you can probably do what you will. I don't know too many people in the area that have um, a good supply of gunpowder itself, unless you go over to the army, which you don't want to do that.
Well, how much is this blasting powder?
Oh, well, I mean, we got plenty of it, so I mean, it's not too expensive. We also are open for trade if you have anything of value that the main weapons master might be interested in. So, how much you looking for? I got probably more than you're willing to buy.
How much would a case be?
Case probably put you about. And you see him kind of calculate some stuff in the air, trying to seem to impress you a little bit. Let's say 25 gold, maybe.
How much would 5 get me?
5 gold?
Yes, 5 gold.
I can get you about this. And he walks behind the counter real quick and rummages through a chest and grabs it's kind of like a little bit larger than mason jar sized keg. He goes, 5 gold probably get you 2 of these. It's about like it's what would be considered like equivalent to like maybe a quart.
Equivalent to maybe what?
A quart.
Lost the last word. One more time. Quart?
A quart.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Well, again, just for whatever reason, the last word kept cutting out. Okay, I think that's okay. So, should I put down 2 quart baby kegs, or how should I write this? Like on my paper? Like baby keg?
Yeah, do like two miniature kegs.
Okay, and you said 5 gold?
Yeah, just 5 gold. It's, like I said,
Okay.
it's not horrible.
Okie dokie. I guess that'll be all for me for now.
Thank you, sir. Have a good day, and thank you for shopping at Borthax. And he walks away and goes to find the next customer real quick. So,
real quick, Tom, I'm gonna interject. I fixed the dagger problem. I just looked it up in the thing.
oh, cool. Now we don't have one less thing for Tyler to worry about.
Always good.
Yep.
Now he just needs to add that ring.
Yeah, shut up.
Oh yeah. It's supposed to be. Anyway, so I'm assuming Tim's just standing there still waiting for a Borthax to come back out.
So, as you're standing there waiting for Borthak to rejoin you, Draken walks away, and you see him have a conversation, get a couple kegs, and come back. He's kind of looking at him like, I don't know if he's trying to. You can tell he's thinking about something. And Draken, in your mind, you're planning, how the fuck do I dilute this? And you shove him into a bag.
Well, worst comes to worst, I have an improvised bomb.
Exactly.
Yeah, because it worked out so well the last time.
So
It did. It worked very well. In fact, every time it's worked very well.
The only reason I didn't die was because of my wall.
God, that's great. A minute or two passes after Draken returns, and a different figure walks out. This is at first you just see the door open and you actually don't see anyone walk out, and then a head pops over the side, and you can tell it is a small goblin fellow that just jumped onto a stool to sit in front of you. The first thing you notice, he has no arms at all. He has very beady eyes and no spectacles at all, no glasses or whatnot. He kind of has like like Albert Einstein style hair that kind of like shoots out and curls a little bit, but like
So
almost
he's all sorts of fucked up looking.
all sorts of fucked up. The only thing about it is he doesn't have near as much hair as Albert Einstein did. He's like maybe got
like Bernie Sanders.
more poofy than Bernie Sanders.
Okay, kind of general.
Yeah. But he's just kind of wearing like a little loincloth and whatnot, not really a lot of clothing. And he sits up and he goes, all right. So and he's speaking in Orcish. So I hear the doctor sent you. Is that correct?
And I nod my head.
All right. Well, do you have any friends you wish to bring with you?
I reply in Orcish, no, I don't think I do. If either one of them knows about the doctor.
Okay. And he uses his foot and he kind of points over, like maybe about 2 feet down. Come right through that little door there. It just kind of like lifts up and you can walk kind of through the counter. Close it behind you and follow me. And he hops off his stool and he seems incredibly agile. He gets up to the door and like you kind of try to catch up to open it for him, and he just reaches up with his foot, flings it open, and walks in. So
I kind of like bubbling to myself like, no, well, I guess I don't have to give him a hand.
oh my god, I hate you. God.
So yeah.
Everyone takes 3 psychic damage. Kidding.
Oh,
So I go through the door, assuming that I'm just getting a backdoor deal to help the group,
Okay.
not knowing that anybody else knows what's going on.
So you walk through the door, and the first room that you come into, you can tell it's the forgery. As soon as you walk through it, it's extremely hot, like a borderline uncomfortable for you. Not horrible, but like it's annoyingly hot for you. You can quickly looking about the dwarves. There's several dwarves back there. They all look incredibly annoyed with it. Like they're not having a good time in this heat either.
So it's like Orcish, annoyingly hot. That
Yes. Yes,
it's
it
not
is.
like my bathe in lava.
Like to your knowledge, a forge that gets this hot and has this many weapon masters in the back working, this is probably a very high quality forge.
Yeah.
You would kind of lean towards probably not as good as draconic forge, but would be hard to tell if that's just preference because you're racist or not.
Okay.
Let's be honest, Tim, your character is incredibly racist. We all know this.
How was my character racist? I think everyone, my character has been like the racist because I've tried not to offend other races.
You're racist because you assume everything about other races. You thought all dwarves live in mountains.
So far, I've not been proven wrong on that.
Yes, you have.
You just talk to dwarves that don't live in a mountain.
Actually, side note, Icarus, you might have forgotten that this entire civilization that you are currently in is into the side of a mountain.
Oh, that's right. Dang it. I did forget that.
You wouldn't remember this part, but Tim did meet a dwarf that lived in a port that was not living in a mountain.
Okay, one out of how many though?
It's just this experience. There's a lot of dwarves that don't live in mountains, Tim.
Anyway, going to the
Anyways,
forge,
so
following the goblin with no arms.
you follow him in through the forge, and you kind of get a quick glance, and you can see that the dwarves are making different. You see one of them's working on a form of battle axe. Another one's kind of just making some different, some lesser, more manual labor, like different pickaxes and stuff like that. They seem to be pumping along, and he leads you through another room, and this door that he comes to is actually made of stone, and he kind of just flings it open and walks you in. And the room that you walk into here is just like a little closet, about like maybe a 5x5 space. It's not huge, and he flings open a hatch and starts climbing down a ladder with his very awkward style.
I kind of stare down the hatch for a minute and start to wonder how far we're gonna go.
As you hesitate, he gets a little bit far ahead of you. You hear him yell up, "Come on, I don't have all day."
I jump down the hatch and follow him.
Okay. Wait, so are you jumping, or are you getting in the hatch and climbing down?
How far down is the ground from the hatch?
You couldn't see the bottom at the angle you were at.
Okay, I'm gonna slide down the ladder down the hatch.
Okay. Make me an athletics check.
Okay. I don't know how to fucking spell athletics. I'm gonna do that. And 6. Okay.
11. So as you go to slide down, and you feel like pretty confident, and then you meet where he was climbing, and you bump into him, and he kind of like
still on the ladder.
He was still on the ladder.
I didn't know he was still on the ladder.
So, he kind of like, because he's really small, he kind of like goes underneath you, but he still catches on your armor a little bit, and you both go tumbling down. You kind of surpassing him and tumble first, and he lands on top of you. You're gonna take, oh god, you're gonna take 13. You're gonna take 13 bludgeoning damage.
Okay, now that doesn't get immediately added, right? No, like if I get hit, it gets added to whatever hits me, right?
No, that's bludgeoning. That gets added immediately. This was a fall. This was like a
goddamn damage, right?
This was like a 20-25 foot fall.
Oh, okay. Well,
Okay. Yeah.
I feel like he shouldn't take any damage since I caught his ass.
Oh, he didn't take as much damage because he landed on you and there was a little bit of a cushion, but he took some damage.
Yeah, I feel bad.
So, first off, you kind of like panic as you're like, oh shit, I feel like I just killed this goblin because he looked very frail.
My first thing is, oh god, that hurt.
Oh.
I do apologize, friend. I did not realize how deep this was, and I thought you were off the ladder when you called to me.
Well, how about you don't be a dumbass next time? He kind of like gets himself up.
Might let it work. That's a very far between them.
And you can see he kind of like shakes his self off because he really can't pat himself off.
Yeah.
And he begins to walk down this hall, and now that you're noticing, this area is not lit. You can only see it because I believe you have dark vision, right?
No, Tim is not.
Oh, okay. So you hear him begin to walk off, and you start to like very slowly kind of try to follow the sound of his footsteps, and he very quickly realizes, oh shit, this guy can't see, and he walks back, and you feel him get close. Here, grab my shoulder, and I'll lead the way. I know you can't see.
Thank you. Then I like gently place my hand on his shoulder to follow him.
All right, so your hand is big to the point you're like kind of resting partially on his shoulder, partially on his shoulder nub where his arm's supposed to be. It's really kind of awkward. And
Some experience has been awkward.
yeah, he leads you about 20 to 30 feet, and he kind of does his best to kind of like nudge you towards a chair, and you find yourself a chair, and he sits down and uses his feet, and he lights a lantern, and around you, now that you can see, is a lot of different canvas bags of a lot of different sizes.
Yeah. So, okay, this is the place.
Yep. He kind of he
I'm
looks
also
back.
questioning how this bag came to exist now, because I do. Do they look like mine?
They look similar to yours.
Do
I
they
mean-
look, as in like mine could be mistaken as somebody's bag.
Oh, like yours could be mistaken as like something that he sells.
As in like this might have come from his, because again the bag did just appear.
Well, so they did. The bags around you didn't just appear. Whenever the lantern hit,
No. I know the bags around me didn't just appear. The bag I have in my possession appeared.
it wasn't a magical appearance because you heard the thud. You could tell it fell from somewhere. You don't know what caused it to fall. But
Bitch could have made it appear as midair.
So yeah, I mean, you really don't know that it appeared magically because your druid friend has not been able to tell you if it was magical in nature or not. So like, yeah, and he's not currently with you, but he also didn't detect magic on it, so you don't know if it's magical. He also has not actually met Madame Nooney, so he doesn't know if she's actually a practicer of magic or if she's just a alchemist that is very creepy. You're the only one that's had any of these interactions, so literally,
Right.
I mean,
Got it. Okay.
yeah, you're on your own here. It's more or less just a canvas bag. It's really hard to tell if it's from his stash or not.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's a canvas bag. Canvas bag's a canvas bag.
Mhm.
So, and all the bags that are around you are closed, so you wouldn't even be able to compare it. Like, is this product look similar? Is it the same
Yeah,
consistency
yeah.
type of thing?
Got it. Yeah. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
So I could be SOL. I could be in very. We don't know.
It's until you open this bag and he looks at it, you have no idea what's gonna happen.
Yep.
So, but, anyways, so as he kind of like situates himself in the chair, he goes, "All right. Oh," and he's speaking in common now.
Mm-hmm.
What do we got?
Well, I procured this from a person in town, and this is what I got. And I bag so you can see, but I'm holding it enough to where like if I need to close it quickly.
Okay. He kind of leans forward a little bit and does the best he can to look. Do you mind if I take some out and give it a little sample so I can figure out who's it from?
I pull out like a pinch, like a size pinch of my hand, which I'm assuming would be like a handful for him. And I like kind of. Is there
I
like
mean,
a table between us, or is it?
Yeah,
like chairs?
there's a small table.
Okay, I put it on the table for him.
Okay. I love how you used handful.
I'm assuming if my hand encompassed his whole goddamn shoulder and arm nub, then
I was gonna
obviously,
say he
like,
doesn't have
I'm
arms,
pretty
so
sure-
like he doesn't have a hand.
But what I'm saying though is like I'm not telling him, oh, this would be a handful for you. I pinch out enough. It's like a pinch for me, and I'm assuming for him it's like a handful. Because I'm assuming I can fit this man's skull in my hand and just crush.
Yeah, no, he is. You've met goblins before. He is a extremely scrawny goblin.
Yeah. Okay. No.
Yeah, I mean goblins aren't big anyways, but still. So as he kind you place it down there. He kind of looks it over, and you see him. He kind of very weirdly pinches some of it with his big toe and I guess you'd say index toe. I don't know what that next one's called, but he kind of like takes a pinch with his foot and like sniffs it a little bit and tastes it. This is some strong stuff. I actually don't know where you would have got this from. This is. I could cut this and.
I got 2 questions for you.
Yeah.
1, you think I could get the Chief Justice to smoke it?
No.
And 2, okay, well, thank you for that answer. And 2, how much for this whole bag?
Something like that. I mean, it's not really well refined. I'd have to do a little bit of work to it. I'd say my offer is 3. Let's say 250 gold.
Yeah, that'll work.
All right. And he walks away very abruptly.
Just kind of sitting there looking around, wondering what's going to happen next.
So it takes him a little bit. And he has to get someone to help him to carry it because, you know, it's a decent amount of gold still. Mm-hmm. But as you're looking around, do you, like, lean over to, like, look at any of the bags itself or anything?
Nope.
Oh, so you're just chilling in your chair. You're being a good little Tim this time.
Oh, I know. Somehow this shit. You don't know. You do what you need to do and you get the fuck out.
Okay, so as he's procuring, just looking about, most of the sacks that you see are, like, now that you're actually kind of looking and there's light and you have a minute to yourself, the sacks they're a lot smaller than what you have. I mean, a little bit bigger than a dime bag.
So what I'm hearing is I just bought a good chunk of product.
You can't really see on the inside, so you don't know how much more he refines it. But
I'm giving him a good chunk.
You're giving him a decent chunk. I mean, okay. Yeah, like he has a lot, like for someone who doesn't know what this is, which you don't. It seems like he has like 1,000 times more than what you have. But outside of roleplay, you gave him a lot to work with here.
I'm assuming it's worth more than what he's giving me.
You just got fucked.
Perhaps insight with inspiration, which you do still have, might have been a good idea in retrospective.
Hold on, wait a minute. Well, I'm still sitting here, right?
I mean, you're sitting here.
I'm still holding the bag. I have not.
I mean, I'm not gonna allow it because it's from the peanut gallery.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I was making a joke that you've already been screwed.
Yeah, no, it's locked in.
This is all fitting into my master plan anyway. I don't really give a.
Okay. So he comes back, and this time he has some orcish fellows. The rest of you, while you're sitting up top, you do notice Borthak come back out. He is without Tim, and he's kind of just wandering around the shop. You don't notice the goblin at all. But
I lean over to Icarus. Do you know anybody called the Doctor?
No. Should I?
Tim said it an orc. For one of the associates. I don't see Tim anymore. Weren't you supposed to be keeping an eye on him? I mean, that's what you said.
I don't speak orc.
But you can see Tim.
I mean, I'm not here to see every little best to keep him
You
out of
had
trouble.
one job.
He's pretty good at doing it.
Alright, so while the peanut gatherers arguing,
Okay,
about
so
where the fuck I am.
so while they're arguing where you are,
Go on.
the goblin comes back and he has his lackey carrying the bag of gold. And they put the gold on the table. He goes, all right, you can count it if you want, but it's all there.
I do count it because obviously business deal.
Okay. So as you sit there and count it, they take the bag and put it on their side of the table, and they begin to kind of like basically, as you can tell, better inspect it, just to make sure the little pinch you gave them just wasn't something off the top there, and then the rest was shit. So they kind of look about it, and they you can see them smiling to themselves. So, but nevertheless, you count it, and all 250 gold are there.
Okay. Yeah, I put the gold in my my bag.
Okay.
I appreciate your business. I'm assuming the way out is the same way I came in, with the same amount of steps.
My dwarven friend here will show you out. And the dwarf begins to lead the way, and he is carrying a lantern this time, so you can see, leaving the goblin behind you in the dark.
That's fine.
So, but he leads you out and leads you back through the forge, and into the main establishment, where you emerge and see your two friends bickering, or two acquaintances and companions bickering.
Right. Well, I'm petting Squishy, smiling to myself as I walk past them out the shop. Come on, fellows. We have business to attend to.
There, see? He's not in trouble.
What business? Who's the doctor? Where'd you go?
I have a question. Is he speaking in common?
Are you speaking in common?
Yeah, for now.
I kind of stop real quick and turn to look at him and kind of snarl a little bit. Keep your voice down and follow me.
I guess I'll say in orc, don't you dare snarl at me.
Don't you dare speak business in the open like that. Follow me. And I start walking towards where the cart and the Zorbo are.
Out of character, Tim, you do realize that after what you just said earlier, I am carrying around two giant things of explosive gunpowder, right?
And you do realize, if you listen to me explain everything, that what you did was a very, very bad thing to do in a very crowded place with some
He has
promiscuous
no
people.
clue what just happened. You
Oh, I know
walked
he
into
doesn't.
a room. He doesn't know you just did a drug deal.
I
Yeah,
know.
I didn't even know
I
you. The only thing I
I-
knew is that you had the drugs because you already mentioned it to me, and I don't even think you mentioned that you had drugs to Icarus. So
No, Icarus was right next to him when Pumat
Yeah, the
said
guy-
that
yeah,
this is what he called it was sued.
well, he said he had weird stuff, but he didn't specify that they were drugs.
He,
Yeah,
He
but
made
then
it
I
pretty
spec-
obvious.
he
You
made it
remember-
pretty
you
obvious
remember-
in the most
He did.
subtle way he
Anyway.
could. And
Anyway,
Icarus
I
is
had
not
drugs.
dumb.
Okay, so anyway, just follow me. Keep your voices low, and I will explain. Again, I walk towards the Zolbo and the cot outside the jailhouse.
Okay. 1 second.
Also, real quick, while he's doing that, 4D chess here. Are you trying to pay Tianto's bail or something?
No, you'll understand. There's always deals to be made.
Okay, so you begin heading back towards the jailhouse. You said, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so takes you a few minutes, but you still find the Zorbo. He is now fallen asleep in front of the jailhouse, but he is not moved. You see there's some guards kind of like standing next to him. They're not messing with him. They're just kind of staring at him and talking to each other.
I kind of walk up and just gently kneel next to him. Goulet, you can come by the cot where it's more comfortable, my friend.
He kind of opens one eye and looks at you, and And rolls back over and goes to sleep.
Okay. Well, the cot's always open if you'd like to come sleep by it. No, I look at the gods, just nod my head and go to the cart.
As you're walking away, all three of you hear this because they're not being quiet at all. He goes, "What the fuck was that? It's a fucking giant bear sleeping in the fucking middle of the road here."
Yep.
Fucking tourists. And they both like begin to walk away.
Good day to you, sir. Have a nice afternoon.
So, I'm assuming we get to the cart. I'm gonna put Squishy on the cart so my hands are free,
Okay.
and I kind of just ever so gently grab Draken and pull him a little close. And in Orcish, I have a plan. Those are criminals, and they will kill us.
Okay, and what part of this is a plan?
I may have just found the biggest drug
I
stash
don't
in this
feel
fucking mine.
comfortable not knowing what you're saying here, Tim.
I apologize, Icarus. I switched back to him, and I apologize, Icarus. Is there a language perhaps all three of us would know that not many people would know?
What did you do?
I don't feel comfortable saying it in common.
I was gonna say this is a little bit out of character too, but you know, Icarus, you spent a lot of time talking to the druid that no one else could understand. I mean, I'm just saying.
I mean, I was clearly trying to deal with the situation and calm everything. This is the opposite. This is
Well,
He's
you were
sneaking
really out of
around,
character. Weren't you bad
acting like
mouthing
he's
us a
in
little
trouble.
bit too in druid?
you wouldn't know that.
Besides the point.
Back to the story. I kind of like open my bag and show the sack of gold I have acquired. Look, there's some things that are about to be put in motion in 2 days that are going to happen. I can most definitely probably secure Tito's release. And we can be on our way, far away from this town.
I'll just place a hand on Tim's shoulder and is like, if you get arrested again, you're dead.
No. We will not be the ones getting arrested, my dear Draken.
Okay, I think I'm following you now.
And that I will say in common.
Yeah. Oh, I'm speaking in common now. He said you're wearing any clothes. And I'm like kind of peeking around to make sure that there's nobody.
Make a perception check.
Yeah.
Can I do that too, just in case?
You can. Go ahead. Before I start talking, I'll let you go ahead and make a perception check.
Okay, well that and I haven't rolled at all today, so
Okay.
You'll roll one.
probably.
This floor is made of floor.
24.
Haha, crit 20.
Nice.
Unfortunately, I wasted it for better things later.
Right.
So looking about, they're
Damn
you're,
you, Tim.
you're outside the jailhouse. There are a lot of guards around. You're literally
You said
standing
most of the-
outside.
You said most of the incriminating stuff in Orc, so.
Well, I'm just saying, you're speaking in common. You're trying to see if anyone's
Yeah,
listening. You're
yeah.
at a fucking police station, basically.
Oh, okay. I start going
Yeah,
through
I
the
just look at
languages.
Tim and point at the giant sign that says police.
Yes.
And I'm just like, maybe not the best, and this isn't work. It's like maybe not the best place to go on about your plan about working with criminals.
So
didn't-
Icarus, with your perception, you're able to tell now that Tim showed you the bag of gold. It immediately clicks. He's missing the bag of illegal items. So I mean, you're kind of putting two and two together. You're not dumb by any means. You're a smart guy.
Just listen to me before you start judging, Icarus. Okay, really quick. Before I go on, I switched to Elvish. Do you understand me?
Yes.
Okay, Draken.
No. But I kind of already know what's going on, so.
Alright, I'm not worried about you. You know what's going on. I talk to you.
Then I'm kind of used to people talking without me understanding them, so it's just like, eh.
Alright, and then I yell in, "Hey gods, to see if anyone responds.
A surprisingly large number of them kind of look over. You don't know. You don't know if it's because you're speaking Elvish or you just yelled in the middle of the street.
I yell in Elvish. Where is my bear?
One of them looks over and he speaks in Elvish. You talking about the big fucking thing out front?
Yes, good citizen. Thank you. They didn't know where it was. Fuck.
The thing that you just fucking petted.
I have a very short-term memory. It's a mental condition. I hit my head as a child.
All right, hold on. What time is it? Is it getting late?
It's probably at this time after all of that. It's probably close to 8:30, maybe 9.
Okay, let's head to a tavern and get a room for the night.
You have a couple different ones. Are you wanting to go to the two that you've seen? You have the Broken Stool and the Four Corners.
Let's do the Four Corners.
Okay.
I need a forge, so keep that in mind wherever we go.
You're probably not gonna find that at a tavern.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's just you can just use a hearth, really.
Really quick, I speak in Celestial. Icarus, do you understand this?
I kind of give you a puzzled look.
Don't understand Celestial. Got it. Fuck. Okay, so I kind of started doing hand gestures, like, like smoking, and then I point
Make
to
a
the goal.
performance check.
The guard then says, "What is that dumbass doing over there?"
As you're walking down and like trying to do your best to give these hand gestures to try to like convey how you sold the pot or whatever you think it was.
Probably Craig.
Well, I mean, he sold you a bong for it, so you would know it's not snorting.
You can smoke Craig out of a bong.
Okay. All right, touche. But like, as you're walking down the street, one of the guards stops and calmly goes, "Hey, are you all right? Are you having some sort of seizure?"
I'm perfectly fine. Just hit my head as a child. Muscle spasms that happen all the time.
I can tell that.
Yeah.
He looks over at Draken and Icarus. Don't let this guy drink anymore. And they,
Yeah.
like,
Okay. So,
I don't want to be seeing you later. And then he starts to walk off.
you got it, officer. I speak in Dwarvish. How about this, Icarus? You understand Dwarvish?
Still a puzzled look.
I just look at him and say, in a language we both understand, "Wait until we're in an enclosed room, for God's sake."
Still just saying. Yeah, okay. So we go to the tavern, and I'm just trying to think of how to tell Icarus that I just sold to probably the biggest fucking dealer in town.
You can keep
without him judging me.
You can keep thinking that, however you choose to. But nevertheless, you make your way to the Four Corners, and you didn't get a good look at it, just because this was like set really deep into a mine wall, and you really couldn't see. But as you walk in, you can see stairways go up, so there is a second level that you couldn't see out front, maybe a third, you don't know. But this is like really far back into the mine, into the mountain itself. The length of the tavern, now that you're walking into it, like straight back, is probably the length of a football field, and it goes around in a corner. You can see in the back corner, there's like a small little area that you can cross over to go around to the next section. But there is a humongous sand pit back there, and it's got on each of the corners, it's got a chair on each corner. And in the middle of it right now, you can see a crowd of people along each edge. In the middle of it, you see like a small pile of different fancy objects. You can see You see a small pile of gold there. You see some swords, some different trinkets. You see some person has like a very you can see like it's like a golden helmet almost, like more decorative than anything. And looking throughout it, you see two people that are kind of like laying there in the sand, unconscious, and two other people that they're in the middle of a fight right now. They have swords and shields just going at it. Very non-secretive Fight Club type of thing.
I mean, as long as it's government sanctioned, I guess. Do you?
Yeah, but people are just going nuts. That you can very quickly see. There's a lot of drunken people. Looking about, most of the people in the area seem to be the typical what you've been passing around: dwarven folk, some orcs, mostly half orcs in this area, and you see in the corner, just kind of sitting back, a very large ogre. Uh, for Draken, for all three of you, you're immediately taken back because the only type of ogres you've seen have been
Try to kill us.
You've either watched kill people or tried to kill you in your adventures.
So this is that kind of town.
You see his left eye is just obliterated. You can tell he probably has an eye under the scars somewhere. But
So like Sylvester Stallone, Rocky, obliterated.
Makes Sylvester Stallone's Rocky look weak.
Oh,
It's
okay. So
he is fucked.
He's fucked up. Got it.
He's got a lot of different slashes amongst him. You can't see any weapons on him, but you can see he has a large bag sitting next to him, and it is full to the brim. You see, looking about, most of the patrons are focused on the battle at hand, and the two people left battling, there doesn't seem to be anything special. Just seems to be a couple of dwarven fighters that just are getting their last hits in. You can see it's probably coming to the end of this fight. You see another figure towards the bar side of the establishment. Not really cloaked, but has different robes on. She is human. She's got a shaved head. And she's kind of just sitting there because it's fun. She's kind of sitting there. She's like,
because it's your goddamn fetish is what it is.
it is not my fetish.
Every female human that has been shaved.
Okay, I will agree with you there, but a lot of these people, this person in particular, I'm definitely stealing from another DM, but a lot of these NPCs I get ideas from other sessions that I've either been a part of or watched. So
You need to start questioning your other DM's fetishes then.
okay, I'll make sure to message some of them. Anyways, she's sitting there. She's kind of like she's two-hand grasping a tankard, and you can see her drinking. On to the right, you see the barkeeper. He's just a male dwarf. Really, like gingery red hair, but not like gingery pale skin, more dark complexion. Very kind of odd combination. You wouldn't expect that hair to go with that skin. Really kind of looks goofy. You see him he's slightly heavier set. Looks to be real older. The gray is starting to come through his poof that he has going on. He's going back and forth, tending the bar. The tavern is yours. What do you wish to do?
I wish to find a room to explain to Icarus what the fuck I've done before he, starts judging me too harshly.
Okay.
Also, question: these gladiatorial fights, are they to the death or not? From what I can tell.
Make a medicine check while looking at the people on the ground.
Well, that's going to be difficult. Give me a 1 second. What even is that? Medicine, you said?
Medicine. 18?
18.
With an 18 at this distance, they look fucked up, but they don't look dead.
I'll keep that in mind. Well, I mean, imagine towards the rest of the party, you might be a good way of making some money. I mean, we are adventurers. We could probably take a good fight.
Have we seen any exchange of money between them?
In the middle of this fight pit, where the fight is happening, there is a pile of different trinkets, gold, a whole bunch of stuff that looks of value.
Okay.
You haven't seen the
They
winner
weren't gonna
take
do
it.
for free.
Yeah. You haven't really seen who gets it. I mean, you could probably. I would, if I in your position, I would imagine the winner of the fight pit gets the pile, but you don't know if it's like bracketed or if it's just each battle has its own pot.
Okay.
Well, then I'll let them do what they're going to do, and then I'll ask the barmaid that. Like, how do the fights work?
Okay.
There we go. Fucking yourself again.
All right, so Tim, you walk up to the barkeep. As you approach, he just immediately kind of just looks at you, plops a tankard down in front of you. It doesn't have anything in it. He goes, "What are you drinking?"
As of right now, nothing. I need to do something first, and then I will be back to drink. But I need.
Why don't just drink while you do your thing?
Because I need to be sober for this.
You don't need to be sober for anything. I haven't been sober in 32 years.
That explains a lot.
Trust me, this Dragonborn's not sober, and he hasn't had a lick in months.
First of all, you shush. Second, I just need one room.
One room?
What?
With
I want my own
preferably
room.
With 2 rooms, then.
Okay, 2 rooms. That good. And he now kind of realizing that all 3 of you are together. All right. Who's the lovely couple?
Well, I think you might need a second room anyway,
Yeah.
considering the Bazorbo's going to need some place to stay.
I figure the Zorvo's still passed out in front of the damn jailhouse. I will be sleeping outside next to the cots. 2 rooms.
2. Why? 5 silver pieces.
Yeah, I give him the 5 silver.
I'll give him 5. I'm getting 5 per room.
Whenever you both throw him the 5 silver pieces, he kind of looks shocked for a second, but doesn't say anything. He puts them in his pocket.
Right. Anyway.
Okay.
Icarus, I'll go with you to your room for a minute so we can discuss the business matters and then come back out and enjoy the fight.
All right. The room's up the stairs. Go down the hall, take a right. Go up the second set of stairs. Last 2 doors on the right.
Got it. Thank you,
I'll,
good sir.
Yeah, while they're starting their conversation, I'm going to go ahead and start the hearth for my crafting later. That way it's roaring.
Okay. You can do that, no problem. This establishment does have one. To let you
And then
do
I
that.
guess I'll come in about somewhere later in the conversation, wherever they want to go with it.
Okay.
Oh, and don't forget the barmaid thing, the whole fight club.
Yep.
That's room 1, you don't talk about it.
We will do that first because then I don't know where they're gonna add in. So,
Yeah.
all right. So, I see the pits caught your eye, huh? It's a fun time. Basically, you take something that you have a value, throw it in the middle, and anybody that wants it will throw something that of equal or greater value to up the ante a little bit, and they'll take a chair. If you get outbid by someone else, and either you raise the ante or you forfeit your product. If you match them, then you're part of the next fight.
Sounds easy enough.
That's not too complicated. But I will say, watch out for the ogre Goog over there. He's our current champion of the house. He hasn't lost too many fights. I'll put it that way. Anything else I can help you with?
No, I think that'll be all as far as I'm concerned. Party.
Yeah, I'm good.
Good.
All right. So he kind of goes back to serving. Draken, are you following with them, or are you staying at the bar?
Like I said, yeah, I figure I'll go to one of the rooms or whatever, which one I'm going to be staying in. And I said I'll start the hearth and I'll just join them in their conversation at some point
Okay. So
in the other room or whatever room they're in.
alrighty. So you guys go to this respective rooms, and Tim, you finally get Icarus into the best secure location in a shady bar that you could.
Okay. So, real quick, I'm speaking in Elvish now. Real quick. Positive, no way. I'm speaking a hushed tone that I'm assuming nobody outside the room can hear me.
I mean, make a perception check to see if you can hear anyone outside the door.
Yeah,
Just whisper in his ear like a lover.
yeah, let's help the fucking bar hands fantasies even more. Ah,
If anyone would be listening, they'd be creeped out and run away because they think
Right.
something else was going on.
I mean, you kind of glance out the door real quick and close it. Listen, I mean, people. You every once in a while you hear someone walk by, but like you don't really get the sense that anyone's like standing next to the door and focused on you.
Yeah. Okay. So, Icarus, here's the deal. I think I may have found a way to bother Tito's sentence to be expunge.
And
I may or may not have just found the biggest drug dealer in town.
drug dealer.
Yes.
And your plan is to turn him
Yes.
in exchange for Tianto's freedom.
Yes.
Yeah, there's no way that could go wrong.
I mean, look at it this way. If he has scouts around this town, they've already seen me go in and out of the guild. They've probably heard me talk on the courthouse steps to the lovely elf woman that I'm trying to get a friend out of jail. So they think, hey, he's lowly scum, and don't reaffirm that. So, with whatever Madame Nooney gave me, I'm pretty sure I got lowballed there because they had a lot of shit, but I don't care about the money. I care about getting Tito out of jail. As soon as we get him out of jail, I don't care if that shit's going on or not. We are getting the fuck out of town, going to Anchorage, and then getting the fuck on and defeating that goddamn wizard person. Because I promise you, if shit does not go right, that goblin's gonna be pissed.
You think?
Oh yeah, no, he got no arms, so I don't know how much damage he can do, but he's got some orcs that look like some mean motherfuckers.
All right. Well, I guess we just have to wait for our meeting
Yes, yes, we do.
and hopefully not get into trouble until then.
Yeah, yeah. You remember what I
So
told
what do you propose we do in the meantime? We can't really
Act.
go
Act.
out adventuring looking for bandits like the other gentleman suggested.
We can. There's also
No,
back here. There's also
Can't
back here.
risk waste or not making it to that meeting.
Oh well, yes, you're right. Well, I can stay here while you two go out bandit hunting.
I don't like that idea either.
I'm probably just gonna stay at the inn and get drunk until I need to be at the. Honestly, because the more lowly I act, the less suspicion it causes until that meeting. I know how these people operate. I've been in the underworld of many a. And don't say it's because I'm a thief. I was an assassin. I had some shit I had to do for some unruly people. Alright? I'm just saying.
Okay.
We get this meeting over with. Worst comes to what? We get Tito out. And if the goblin so happens to find out I double crossed his ass, well,
Oh, I'm sure he will.
You people get Tito. Remember, sigil in the rope, get my body, put it on my chest, step back about 20 feet, and whatever comes down, explain everything. But until then, I'm still alive and breathing. We're doing this plan.
Okay.
Hopefully, the rest of you can get out of town unscathed. If it all comes crashing down, I'll find a way to make sure I'm the only one harmed.
So, I guess the next question is, do me and Draken go try and make some money, or do we sit here and wait with you?
That's up to you. I do have 250 gold. That if at the first sign of trouble, I will hide. Um, Probably with the elf woman,
Why with the elf woman?
because I don't think they're dumb enough to attack a public figure in the guild. Just saying. I could be wrong. They are orcs after all.
Yeah.
But with the amount of guards in this area, I'll give it to her. Tell them it is for my friends. And then I will try to take whatever heat is on me away from that area. Also because I trust her more than I trust the guards.
Yeah, the guards can easily be bought.
Exactly. She seems like an intelligent girl. I expect her to make the right choice.
It's at this point you hear a knock at your door, and upon a inquiring, it's Draken.
What's up?
Okay, I'm back. What's up?
All right.
What's going on?
He knows. We're all
Okay,
good.
so what's the plan?
Don't worry about it. When it happens, you'll know. And when it happens, we're getting the fuck out of the city.
I don't like that plan. I don't like knowing what the plan is.
Just
Or not knowing what the plan is.
Icarus knows what he must do if the plan goes awry. If it goes awry, I will make sure I'm the only one harmed. Now, who wants to go watch Fight
And
Club?
what do you think about this plan, Icarus?
I mean, it's probably the best we got right now.
Well, again, he still hasn't told it to me. What is it?
Oh, basically he found someone to sell that bag of apparent illegal drugs, plants, and he's going to turn in that quote dealer in exchange
But won't
for Tianto's
he get
freedom.
arrested? Period. Then.
Who?
Snitches never get arrested,
Tim?
Draken. Come on now. And no, I won't get arrested if they don't know that I sold the stuff to him. If I'm just an anonymous tip, that,
Well,
hey, I'm
here's the thing.
pretty sure these
If I-
guys
if
are
I-
doing drugs.
But the sounds of this plan, Tim, there's no statute of limitations in this land. This isn't modern times. You're going to get arrested for drug trade. And besides that, again, I speak Orcish, and we were all there when you were talking to that other guy who was a clone, so there's more than one person that could corroborate that you did a crime.
First of all, the clone guy just told us what it was. Second,
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, he could verify that you had it, and then
they're not gonna ask.
we
me
know
if I
you're going to
have-
tell people.
Okay,
Well, I'm just
okay,
saying
look.
that they're going to do an investigation to see how far this goes, and then they're going to backtrack it.
Dragon.
By the time they do that,
There
we'll be
is-
long gone and out of this
Exactly.
town.
We'll be. First of all, yeah,
You
we'll be
don't
long
think they
gone.
wouldn't incarcerate Tim
No.
for a span of time just for, out
Not
of.
if I'm a whistleblower. First of all, Dragon.
But you just said you were going to be
you
the
are-
snitch.
It's
That's
a
what a
simple
whistleblower-
trade. It's a trade of information for his release.
Okay, well here's the thing, and I'm
Dragon,
just saying.
I'm just gonna say something real quick. The amount of drugs that were in that lair was more in that lair than the armor and gold stairs at that fight arena.
Well, I'm not saying your plan's completely bad, Tim. I'm just saying there is one regard that they might pick. I wouldn't call it the high ground, but they might be okay. We can get two bad people in one swoop. We can get the worst people and the snitch.
Or
Is my only concern.
they could be paying
Or-
off the Lady Loretta.
They could again, which is why if the plan goes awry, you two would not associate it with the plan. You had no idea because I didn't know that somebody spoke Orcish.
Well, I don't think I do understand Icarus's point of view. I don't think it's that big of an issue. If they were willing to arrest us just off of suspicion of an old man exploding, I think there would be at least
I mean,
enough cards on the up and up that
To be fair, the old man exploding did look bad when they came upon us because we were fighting.
I still resent that. I mean, they had literally no evidence. The evidence would have been testimony, and we were the only testimony. So,
And we are not incarcerated, are we?
huh?
We're free men, are we not?
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying, like, they didn't really have any evidence with the old man. I'm just saying, if they're that suspect in that situation, I don't think they would all be corrupt. I'm saying if we had to really fight them, I'm not saying the public opinion would be too great on our side, but you know what I mean.
I mean, for all they know that I'm a agent of
I'm just saying I'm not
royalty,
that
tracking
afraid of
down
corruption.
drug trade.
So I'm not that afraid of corruption. I'm just more afraid of them trying to be overly good and arrest you too, and maybe us just by association.
They will not
More
arrest
you than us in this particular scenario, but
Like I said, Drake, and if the plan goes awry, I will suffer as the consequence.
okay, well I guess if Icarus is begrudgingly willing to go along with it, I will too.
Alright then, who wants to watch people beat the shit out of each other?
Well, why don't you join in, Tim? It might not be a bad idea. You put up your winnings and then you go fight.
Put 50 gold
I mean, it
in.
is technically. Well, no, I was gonna say it is illegal money. The best way to get the best way to get rid of illegal money is to get legal money and replace it.
Yeah, Lord. We'll see how the fights go.
I guess yeah, you could start small, see how well you do.
Yeah.
I mean, think of it this way: it could be one of the few fights you get into where there's no guarantee that you'll die.
We'll see.
All right, so we going downstairs then?
We're going downstairs.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. You guys.
You coming too, Icarus?
I guess.
I don't want to miss this. Tim's gonna get
Might
his
as
ass
well.
kicked.
I mean, it might take two of us to drag Tim out of the rain.
God. Okay. So, you go downstairs and doesn't it seems the fight that was going on when you were previously in there seems to have ended. God damn it! Oh come on! I think it's being stupid.
The fuck is Alex?
Alex, what do you mean, Alex?
Some person on Snapchat named Alex added me as a friend.
Oh, okay. Weird.
Do we have mutual friends? I wish Snapchat told me that.
Okay, so. Alright, so as you go down to the bar. Looking about, everyone has kind of calmed down for a little bit. The pile that was in the center of the sand pit is now gone. You notice several people kind of at the bar, extremely bloodied, drinking away their sorrows. You notice a very, not really like large, but like very obvious trail of blood that goes out the front door. Seems to be someone might have probably been dragged out the front door, maybe. But it seems to have calmed down for the time being. There doesn't seem to be any type of offering in the middle of the pit right now. The ogre that you previously seen, you can no longer see him anymore. You don't know if he left or if he went around the corner to the other half of the building. The one woman that stuck out to you, she is still sitting at her table. There's a couple new faces in the area. You see a couple different orcs have found a table. Some goblins found. They have like a couple of like 3 different tables that they've all pushed together, and it's like a small trove of goblins. Probably 8 to 10 of them, roughly. There's a couple of them there. The bar seems just as busy as when you left it. What do you wish to do?
What time is it? It's 12:30.
You're on the East Coast now, aren't you?
I mean, I've technically always been on the East Coast time.
Oh, wouldn't that be 11:30 for you then?
What did I say?
12.
Oh, yes, it is 11:30.
Okay.
I'm tired as shit, dude. I've been up all day.
You kind of threw me off. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, no. Do we want to call it there so that way next time when we actually have everybody back, we can do a whole fucking session on the other group?
Well, next time if we do a whole session on the other group, I won't even have you guys come.
Well, yeah, see, that's what I'm saying, though, because next Tuesday I won't be here because of work.
Okay. I mean, I'm fine with ending it there, and we can find some stuff for the other 3 to do. I don't know how much they'll be able to do because they're outside of a city that they're wanted in.
I mean, I'm pretty sure once everything gets settled, they won't be as wanted as what's going to happen.
If worst comes to worst, we could always do one of 2 things. Either Tyler could parrot you for the session while we do some crud quest, basically, or even if you didn't want Tyler to use your character, we could always just do the whole me, Icarus, and we could even say Bazorbo go off and fight, maybe guards a caravan or some crap, something like that.
We have some stuff we could figure out. Be no issue.
All right. Well, if we're gonna cut it there, good night. I'm gonna go play some board games with some people.
Alrighty, cool. Well, thank you all for tuning in. It's been.
Remember, roof and all. Your high school sweetheart might want some.
I will 100% admit that that Tim was the last person who I'd expect that if I introduced drugs to, he would immediately go and sell them, immediately sell out the drug ring.
Dude, come on, then. I put in an application for Raleigh PD. You really think I'm not gonna narc on?
Okay, true.
All right, Tim's out. I'm bouncing out. Good night, everybody.
See you guys later.